just blew the door open instead of
It was like
working.
the way that dungeon was designed is here's a door to get into the main boss fight. Which, that was supposed to be a one-shot, but it ended up being a two-shot because they couldn't figure that out. But it was like, there's an alternate corridor with 2 green slimes, and if they kill it, there's a box with enough powder to blow open the door. And so I spent like an hour at this door trying to open it, and I was like, I failed them! No! I just wanted an NPC to be like, right, you trying to come in then? Come on in.
I really enjoyed that. That little one shot that we did.
Yeah, that was fun. That was where Brad played Mr. Miyagi the monk.
I played a proper monk, yeah.
I want to do a flying scissor kick.
I love that. Because Jay handed me a character. It was a pre-gen character who was it was a monk halfling. And I was like, well, how can I spice up a monk? And I thought I'd have all my unarmed strikes be kicks. So I just looked up lists of all kicks. And just found all the weirdly named ones, like a 420 tornado kick or whatever. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'll do an unarmed strike. And Jay was like, yeah. And I was like,
It's a 720, not a 420.
Whatever. Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
I don't know any kicks really by name. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, he does a 720 tornado kick, by the way, Jay. And Jay was like, okay, yeah, that's what he does. So all of his kicks were like these hardcore Taekwondo kicks. It was,
I think that was also like my second time DMing too. So it was just like, yeah. I don't care. Like, yeah, whatever.
I just like to try and flavor things with something of depth.
Yeah. I was very specific with Gotho's attacks too, because of I've done many years of Taekwondo as well as judo and some other stuff. So when I was playing my monk character, I was like, no, I don't attack him. I use a spinning back knuckle. It's very specific.
And I was just like, so you attack him?
Well, yes, it's attack him, but
so what you're saying?
I attack him very specifically.
Oh, man.
Specifically wanted to be a spinning back fist into a Superman punch. Fucking weird to try and attempt.
Once you get the multi-attack, why not? That would be really hard to do, to be honest.
That's my thoughts. Anyway, welcome to the stream, people of the universe. I won't say world because Jay will get offended because I'm not.
Oh my god! I don't know where you've gotten this
I'm not being inclusive of everyone.
Newfound
not
narrative.
The potential aliens that might come to the planet in the future.
if you don't
like to be.
Canada's not that PC, man. Canada's full of racists.
No. You've drawn the line, Jay.
I've drawn the line. Okay.
So I'd like to be inclusive of everyone, including aliens of the future. Welcome to the planet.
Are we not on the BradWOTO channel anymore or something?
No, that's why I do it, because I'm on my channel. I try and dial it back on a Sunday when I'm on Jay's, but on my channel, it's like, Jay, you vagina. Go back to Canada, Jay.
Oh my god.
Get out of here. I don't know. I just like winding up Canadians, really.
You might make them mad enough to apologize.
I went into his stream. I raided him yesterday and went into his stream in the first time in a couple months, and he was just like, "Oh, Jay, go write about it on Twitter. Something happened in the game. Go write about it on Twitter." And I was like, "Okay, Brad. Okay, I feel you. I feel you."
I don't know why.
I guess I do that.
I feel like the more mean I am to you, though, it's the closer I am to you. That's how it is. If I'm being really nice to you all the time, I probably don't like you.
Don't ever be a father.
I really don't want to be. I know it would be a fucking monstrosity. I'd send it to Canada for
deconstruction.
School. Yeah, it would spend summers with me and
the rest with me. Is that
boarding school in
You're
Canada?
Offloading your children on me.
With Justin Trudeau. I have a child. Look at him. Way! Look at that little puppers.
Speaking of puppers, mine actually turned 3 today.
Oh shit!
Hey! Happy birthday! Happy dog birthday!
Pupper birthday. Still a little pupper though.
Dogs.
You know what?
Have dogs, not kids. They will never. Dogs will never betray you.
Absolutely.
Until they piss on
Game
you.
of Thrones has taught us otherwise.
Well,
yeah, right.
Okay.
That was the first scene I thought of, actually.
Hey, can we get a real beauty check for Arden? I'm just curious.
Oh yeah, this is because we're doing the morning after, right?
Do it live, yeah.
Where wow, of course. You know, I find it really funny that Jesse's like, roll me a beauty check, and it's an 8. But every time Arden rolls a beauty check for himself, it's like a fucking 19 plus. There was that one time it was a 17, and we were like, whoa, something's wrong.
Yeah.
He's super beautiful today, which is
Gonna
good.
be interesting when the High Priestess
You're going to
Counselor
see-
Chancellor
yeah.
destroys us.
You're going to see the Chancellor and Archpriest who you hit on last time and was removed. You were like formally removed from the premises.
Officially removed.
If memory serves. All right, let's play some D&D if y'all are ready.
Yes.
Last
Yes.
week, you guys, I think we started out with Walter, the new character, Jay's new character. He had been traveling through the desert on foot as opposed to by train with the help of Raja, a spiritual form of Raja that was sort of being channeled through Walter. He's a sort of medium. What are you called? What is your background?
It's called the Haunted One.
The Haunted One, yeah. So
Ooh.
he has various spirits and otherworldly things that are able to commune with him, kind of thing. The two of them were traveling to Shallow Scar because Raja had told him to go there to get this group to raise. What happened with the gifts? Where did these come from? Every time I'm doing this back.
How much you just
You
pulls
had
away.
to tell him what a beam was. I
we
mean,
did it.
really?
We did it. We did it to ourselves. I know that there's at least like 2 people that watch this back in the VOD or something that really need this bit. So I'm like, okay, I'll just fucking try and get through it without being distracted by a pug. The two of them encountered a sort of well, actually, you fought a couple of snakes pretty successfully, and then then a sandstorm hit you, and it turns out the sandstorm had sort of a ghostly figure inside of it that Raja seemed to recognize. The two of you battled with it. However, it just completely destroyed you. It knocked Walter out and pulled Raja's spirit sort of from Walter and just seemingly made off with it in the dead of night. Back in town in Shallow Scar, you guys you did a few bits. Vasilius and Lash came back from the sort of mountain area where Lash's old group who were killed a long time ago. But it's also the area where Strings and Gamil were killed by a bunch of shadow demons and a banshee. You guys made it back into town, kind of took a breather, and then went about trying to find some diamonds because you needed 2 diamonds, relatively decent diamonds. You needed dust, some blood, and that is the spell components pretty much for the resurrection. You guys went and managed to get diamonds. You basically jacked them from a cellar in the industrial district. Arden followed around.
He has
Arden
a
has a
cat.
cat.
Now.
He has a cat. What's that cat called? Worm or something? What did you call it?
I haven't named it yet, I don't think.
Oh, you didn't name it. All right, maybe that's just. I think it was.
I need
Emma.
to offload it before it dies. That's what I'm trying to do.
No, I want a cat companion. Let's go.
No, you 100% have a cat now, Arden.
It's gonna be that cat from Divinity, the one that just follows you the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. That fucking cat died on me in Divinity, by the way. Like,
Oh.
Because you're shit, mate. Yeah, if you walk past the guards at the gate, yeah, they shoot him.
They kill it.
Yeah,
Oh.
I reloaded. I just reloaded.
I didn't know it was dead.
I reloaded, and then I went and I killed all of them, and then
Yeah. My
I turned off
cat
Divinity
now.
forever. I literally turned it off and haven't turned it back on since.
Because they killed your cat.
Yeah,
Understandable.
The game is ruined.
ruined.
Pretty
Never
much.
playing it again. Essentially, then you guys went to get the blood. You went to the slums, found a couple of drinking companions, Johnny and Scree. I think I named them. No reason whatsoever. Yeah, you managed to basically convince them to give you. I think you have a couple of cups of blood, which are being
Yeah.
kept cold by Walter, and some cantrips. You successfully have all the components, but instead of going to the Chancellor because you're a little afraid of her, you went and had a rest. So you made it back to the inn that you're staying at, which is the super high-class inn of Shallow Scar, which is called. The fuck is it called? The Minstrel's Chalice.
Chalice.
and you guys went and had a nice little sleepy. So you guys have had a full long rest.
Nice.
So you can have all of your HP and all your spells and everything back. Presumably, it has kept the blood chilled, so the blood remains fine. I sort of ruled that the blood just needs to be kept cold, and then you're good. Blood's blood, innit? It's magic.
Fuck it, it's magic.
No one said it had to be fresh blood at any given
No,
point.
it just gotta be blood that matches. That's what it needs to match the race. So dwarf for dwarf and human for human, and you did that. However,
Oh god.
Oh shit.
there was somebody missing last week to the tune of Connor Cronus. But we've also missed Carlias for a few weeks because he was dead. Carlias, you are not here. You're not in Shallow Scar. You are not in Dustvale. You find yourself in an endless void. Essentially nothing but blackness. There's nothing. There's nothing of substance about you whatsoever. It's literally just like being in space with no stars or galaxies or anything you can see. And I would say you've probably been walking aimlessly for some time. You feel very light. Jumping allows you to jump higher and longer, and you almost sort of fly or float to the ground. It is a bit like gravity being low, kind of like that moon jumping thing, but generally you just feel extremely light. Although you do walk around, there is no real ground. It's not like you're in darkness. There's just and there's no light. You can see yourself pretty much completely fine. Although sometimes you'll look down at your hands and you'll be able to see through them for a moment, and then they'll sort of return. The last thing that you recall before being in this place was sort of just coughing and choking in darkness as well. Your mouth filling with sand, constricting your airways, and then this void, this just complete nothingness. And you've been wandering for a long time, and you continue to wander. What do you want to do?
Okay, what do I have on me, first off?
Everything that you had in life when you died.
So oddly enough, it's been a while since I looked at my character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say I could have probably prevented the death happening.
We always can with hindsight.
Yeah, I mean, I had a thing called second wind, so...
You're a fighter.
Oh, I thought I was gonna say,
about
were
that.
you the one that has advantage on death saves?
Oh,
Is
no.
he the one we've been asking about the entire time?
I mean, he did piss off an ancient dragon, so.
Yeah, I mean, all's fair.
Makes for a
This will
better
be
story.
this will be great though, because if we ever see the dragon again, we can just say he died,
Yeah. You can't be mad at him anymore. He
Pass,
died.
pass the insight checks.
and then he can insight check it and see that I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works out just great.
And then we kill him. And steal our rightful fucking prizes.
Good luck.
I'm just gonna light a torch.
You light a torch. Yeah, you light a torch up, and you take a moment with the maybe flint that you use to light the torch, and it ignites. It seems to make complete sense. You light it up, but it doesn't cast really any light. You do notice that there is like a lighter hue to your clothes, like a yellow hue to it as the light is near you. But in terms of like trying to see if it lights up anything around you or further about you, or maybe lights up the ground, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't light anything up. Trying to feel about you, you don't feel walls. Putting your hands down towards the ground, you don't feel ground. Your hands pass further than your feet do. You get the sense that really you're just sort of flying almost, but you're not flying because you're walking. Your muscle memory is sort of telling you that you're walking, but really there's legitimately nothing here. It is a void.
So you mean like if I was to take a step up, I'd go higher?
You can try.
I'm gonna try and walk stairs that aren't there.
Yeah. You try to take a step, and for a moment you feel like, hey, this is gonna take me up a step, and then no, your feet do go back down.
just gonna shout out to anyone that can hear me. It's been a while. Hello?
There's immediately a response from somewhere. At first you think up and then maybe down. You hear, "Step to the light, Carlias," and then it fades.
What light? I can't see any fucking lights.
"Step to the light. To the light. To the light." Fades off.
Do I see any lights?
Give me a perception check. You do not. You are convinced that other than the light in your hand of the torch, there is no light about you anywhere at all. Although, while you're sort of looking around, desperately trying to find an area of light that you're supposed to be heading towards to listen to this sort of voice, a figure appears, just this strange levitating, floating being, a sort of colorless, aged man with rags for clothes. He has like spectral particles floating about him like a small ethereal sandstorm, and he seems to just step as if through a door in front of you, and then it does not at all acknowledge you. Whether he sees you or not, it doesn't care. It just moves forward. More prominent to you than the actual sort of aged man, the figure with all these strange particles that are wisping around him, is that across one shoulder, with an arm up above him, is the sort of body of Raja, bound with a bunch of icy chains, just completely constricted, unconscious maybe, or dead. He's definitely out of it. The figure just appears and then begins to sort of levitate away from you. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna call out, hey, come back here, hey! I'm gonna slowly walk towards him.
The figure stops and then begins to slowly turn towards you. You see a light from within Raja's chest begin to appear in just vast darkness. It's sort of a almost as if there's like an internal bulb that's been turned on inside of him. This sort of ethereal version of Raja flickers, kind of like your hands do, from being completely full and tangible to ethereal. You notice that there's a light that sort of switches on within you as well. There's suddenly a small, very light glow from within your chest as the two of you seem to connect to a degree. Nothing happens to Raja. He doesn't awaken, but the man that's holding him turns. No longer a man. Instantly, his face changes. He's a creature. His aged face peels away to reveal a sort of skeletal monstrosity. His teeth, his lips peel back over his teeth. His hands elongate. His fingers stick-like. It turns, immediately acknowledges you, and lunges towards you. The form of Raja is lifted up and buoyed away from it, and then this sandstorm about the creature picks up speed, lashing and whipping about him. I'm going to need some initiative from you, because this thing is absolutely attacking you. It is the Sand Wraith.
The thing that destroyed me and Walther in like 2 turns last week. Have fun. Have fun, Connor.
You ran. You got away.
No, we didn't.
No, yeah, they lost.
We most definitely got wrecked immediately.
If I had my spells and you had multi-attack, we would have gotten them.
No.
Oh yeah, no, it would have been fine. It would have been fine.
The good thing for Carlias is, well, there's 2 good things for Carlias. One,
supercharged.
You're on the astral plane, so the rules are different. He's not supercharged. The second thing is it's a JRPG, so you're all right. Well, you're not all right, but
I really wish I could get like a wild magic surge, go to the astral plane and just appear. Hey, I'll help.
Unfortunately, the spell Wish also doesn't exist in this campaign, so looks to be you.
Shit, that was my next option to help Carlias.
It doesn't really matter, but this is this, and then you rolled a 6, so the Wraith goes first. So the thing just builds up this spectral sand. It starts to whip around it and it lunges immediately towards you. You sort of lose track of exactly what you're looking at. Like it stops being entirely just this figure of a man. It grows and spins and turns into just what essentially looks like a fucking sandstorm as it moves towards you. Not in the same way as it moved towards Raja and Walter, because it was just part of the sand. It would just appear in front of them out of the sand. This thing actually physically lunges at you. Before you know it, it is in front of you, and these just sand shit is attacking you. Lots of sand near you. Lots of sand spikes. Sand spikes. There you go. What is your AC?
It is a 15.
A 15. So as this thing moves towards you, all of these like launched spikes kind of, again, this spectral sand hardens into spikes that launch at you. Two of them fly past your head. One easily hits you in the chest, dealing 5 bludgeoning damage and 1 piercing damage as it hits you in the chest and then poof, just explodes into a sort of like bomb of sand. The creature is sort of screeching at you. The more this light in your chest sort of glows and pulsates, the more this thing seems to become enraged and furious to see you, slashing wildly at you and causing all of this sandstorm to wildly spin. Carlias, what do you want to do?
Can I tell what the glowing from my chest is?
You can give me an Arcana check. You have no fucking idea. Something is happening. You don't feel like anything's happening, but you're definitely lighting up from inside.
And you said Raja had that as well.
Raja has the exact same thing, yeah.
So it's the power of friendship that we're going to get through.
Maybe.
If you can get in range for a touch spell, then yes.
I'm just going to slash with the dagger of venom.
Cool. Nice. Let's see here. So, does that do anything special? Or you have to activate it, right?
I have to activate it, yeah.
So, that
Which, if memory serves me correct, didn't I activate it before I attacked the sand thing and then got killed?
Yeah, but it did not translate to here. You are fresh, like a newborn baby, born again in another realm, and also not really here. It's a DM's paradise of Deus Ex. Anything else? Everyone else can see this map, right? I threw you on it like I did.
No, you're good. I can see it at least.
Boring. Yeah.
Part of me wants to say try jumping over it, since we're in.
You have like extra jump abilities.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and jump over it.
Yeah, give me an athletics check. See how good your jump is here. Yeah, you are free to jump over it to the other side of it if you want to get behind it.
Yep.
You still have your full movement.
And then I'll hold on. 25. Get in there. As far as I can go.
That weird noise, if you can hear it, is my big dog.
I just thought Tuesday had an upset stomach.
It's my dog. She's like scratching her ear and going. I don't know. Okay, this thing gets an attack of opportunity on you, which is a definite miss. the sands sort of whip out at you, and you duck out under it, jump over this thing with just a huge like moon leap. The sands column of it launches up and tries to follow you. You land and run out of the way before the sands kind of smash down behind you. The thing turns, not at all happy to see you running towards its first prey. It's going to easily interject your travel. As it does so, moving past you, it whips up a pretty horrific sandstorm. Prepare yourself.
2 damage.
Oh my god. You're going to take 10 bludgeoning damage and 3 piercing damage from the first strike. Second strike,
Oh gosh.
is going to deal 7 bludgeoning damage and 4 piercing damage. This thing just, you hear this thing screeching and running after you, and then suddenly you're engulfed in this spectral sand, all of it cutting at you like razor blades. A few of the areas sharpening into like twists and daggers, and stabbing and piercing at you, scraping across you. Cutting you up, stabbing you, puncturing you, before the thing formulates in front of you and begins to shiver and shake in place. But it ends its turn.
All right. I literally had an idea just before I did that.
Can I make a Constitution check to wake up?
Nope. You had your fight. You lost.
It wasn't a. I didn't even have a body or any of my weapons. It wasn't a fight.
Well, don't die next time.
Not all men die equal, okay?
Okay, so is Vicious Mockery a bonus? Can I use that on a bonus, or since it's a cantrip?
It's an action.
No, it's an action.
Oh, it's a full action.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll do that.
Cool. Give me the. It's a dex save, right? Actually. Is it dex? No, charisma.
No, it's either charisma or wisdom.
Succeed
It
on a
says
wisdom
right there.
saving.
It's
Wisdom,
wisdom
yeah.
save.
Oh yeah, there it is. Hey. All right. I'll tell you what. Fine. What do you say?
Piece of dirt! You better get out of my way.
You say it, and on the word "way," your voice booms out to a little louder than you would normally be able to do. The mark of Mistra that you have on you, where is that?
It's on my chest, above the heart.
Bam, perfect. Like a fucking glow bomb, you just go off like a firework, and it just boom. There's a boom of light as you set off this vicious mockery. Give me the damage.
What is it? Just a D4?
You do 1 damage to it, but there's a figure that appears behind the sand wraith and behind Raja. Give me a perception check. You see something. Something else is now with you. For the first time, you've seen nothing for what could be an hour, a week, a year, and then suddenly this wraith, Raja, and then you let out this booming call, and then something appears almost instantly in the distance. A very small figure, hard to work out, casting no light whatsoever, and very difficult to see through the spectral wraith sand. Anything else on your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna action surge. And shoot with Scar Shot.
Okay. You have disadvantage at this close.
I'll use can I use a grip point on that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a bonus action, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that just brings it up to a 22. So that is a hit. The bullet fires out of your gun. It doesn't even move in the same way as your bullets normally do. It kind of leaves a strange ripple through the air, the void around you. It's almost like it's pushing underwater and leaving like a strange set of ripples through the air, and you're able to see it, and they continue outwards in the same way as it would on the river. You see my dog? Fuck off! Jesus Christ. The bullet moves forward and easily punctures the wraith. It lets out a terrible screech. It definitely did not like it. But also, things don't appear to be like normal. It didn't feel like your gun firing. It was strange, like you're underwater, and yet the bullet moved at the same speed and did the same thing as it should. Anything else?
No, I think that's it for now.
The sand kicks up around this thing again. You see more of these like daggers just appear above you and rain down around you. Carlisle's ducking and weaving left and right. Most of them miss you to one hand. One of them hits you, dealing 7 bludgeoning damage and 6 piercing damage. That was a large pierce. It should be piercing and then bludgeoning, I guess, because it poof, and explodes. The sand wraith. Actually, no, it doesn't do anything. It begins to shake like crazy. All of the sand and the sandstorm about it kicking up. Give me maybe a nature or an arcana check. Whichever one's higher for you, I guess.
No, they're both the same.
Either one, then. From what you know of nature and creatures and things, this thing looks like it's gearing up to do something different. It starts to shake and build up and draw sort of energy into itself. It seems like it's probably going to try and do something a little different next turn. You wouldn't know what. Your turn.
Right. I'm going to use my bonus action for a second wind.
Mm-hmm.
So regain hit points equal to 1d10 plus my level.
Yep.
So plus 5. 7 points back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll... I'm going to try Vicious Mockery again.
Okay. Another fail. Give me the damage. Two damage. Yeah, I would say the symbol on your chest, along with the glowing on both you and Raja, just increases. The symbol is like really obvious now, through like even around this strange glowing. And when you do that thing where you're just every few seconds your body will flicker out as if it's like completely ghost-like and ethereal. The symbol remains pretty strong. Give me another perception check. As far as you can tell, this other figure that was there is gone. Whatever. They're no longer here. Anything else? Oh, wait, you don't have anything else, unless you want to move.
No. I wouldn't be able to jump over him, would I?
You can, yeah. Can you hear my dog?
Oh,
I don't know.
I want to hug her.
I know.
I'll try and jump over him again.
Okay. Give me an athletics check. Yeah, you jump up. As you reach sort of like the area above this creature, the sandstorm blocks you. I would say that's where you stop. You're now in mid-air, like here. When this thing, in fact, you need to give me dexterity saving throw.
Oh god. He's about to Kamehameha your ass.
And then give me a wisdom saving throw. The thing, as you jump and leap, you sort of move into this sort of sandstorm that's kicking up above it. And then you see just an enormous hand reach up. The elongated fingers on this thing just pierce through the sandstorm itself and grab at you. And it grabs not really on your clothes or at your back or anything. It just grabs straight through you at that kind of light. And you feel it tug on that light within you. You are grappled, but you take no damage from this attack. This thing is now holding you as if its hand is inside and gripping at your heart, although you don't feel like that. It's just holding you in place. It's legitimately holding on to whatever that light is that you have, and it's holding you now above it easily in place as if it's unbelievably strong and you're like a leaf. That is the end of its turn. What do you want to do on your turn? Grappled,
So
by the way,
I
you're incapacitated.
I can notice that the sign of Mr. is glowing, right?
Yeah.
Can I try talking to her? Like calling out to her?
Yeah.
It'll just be in his head, like he's not gonna shout it, but he's gonna try and be like, I've only tried this once before, but please, help me and Roger out here.
Give me a religion check. I love using religion in this way because no one expects it. And they don't put any points in religion. you sort of speak out to the best of your ability to anything, to Mistra, to try and get her to heed your call. There's a strange whispering voice that comes from a little further in, from where that creature was, whatever it was that appeared in the distance beyond. There's no booming light or anything. There's no random magical effect, but you do hear a strange voice, a very small voice, whisper out and say, Mistra, no, she will not help you. Perhaps I will. You remind me of someone I once knew. Give me another perception check. This time you can very easily make out a figure beyond you. There is a little man. He has a distinctly pale white face, but nothing else. Shush. He makes the noises of a dog. All you really see is like a pale face moving around in the distance. Give me a dex save or sleight of hand check. From within its robe, this very small figure with the white pale face that just is completely featureless flicks an object at you. It flings through the air and it leaves those kind of ripples through the air, and it kind of just makes a direct travel through you, as if that doing that thing where you throw something in space. You see those guys on the space station moving things. It does that and floats towards you, but very quickly. You catch it very easily. It is Gamil's medallion. The figure turns around. As soon as he turns, his face disappears into the darkness, and he is gone.
That's feet.
You are at full HP.
Shut.
You are revitalized. As soon as you grab this thing, you look at it, it means nothing to you, but you're completely revitalized. You feel an energy flow into you again. The light in your chest, matching Raja's, glows again. And I'm just going to let my dog out of the room.
Let out. Get out of here.
Damn, dude.
That little man could only be
There
one
we
person.
go.
That little fucking...
Yeah. I usually have my dogs away for RP because of that exact reason. But Emma's asleep. She's back.
They can open doors.
Can you see her?
Oh my god. Oh, the poor thing.
Can I? But if
For
I
fuck's
just.
sake. All right, I'm going to distract her with a treat.
I love
That's
this.
adorable.
That's adorable.
You didn't really mean to put me out, did you?
But I want to watch.
I just want to freeze. I want a freeze frame of that and be like, dog will remember that. Like, Jesus.
That was awesome.
Pecan thought.
Good God. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't normally.
You're good.
It's my mum's dog, and I'm looking after her for a week, and she's an extra handful, and he's been annoying too. Okay, great. I don't know what's going on. All my dogs are acting weird because we're on the astral plane. Carlias, you feel revitalized. These lights are building up within you.
Does that give me back anything else like grit or?
Nope, just your HP. You're revitalized. That's all it does. Fills your HP bar up. And that is the end of your turn. No, it's the start of your turn.
Yeah. So what's on the medallion then?
You tell me.
Which one is it though?
It's the it's the one you wanted.
Okay, so yeah, it has 2 X's on it, and then in dwarven lettering it says something.
Yeah. It's the one which links you. Though you wouldn't have ever seen it again.
Can I get out of the grapple?
Yes, you need to give me an athletics or an acrobatics check. And you have to beat a 19. You struggle to wrench yourself free, but this thing is just holding you in place. It's like you're weighted at the center of your body. It's a very strange feeling, and it's not like trying to prise anything open and wriggle free of anything. You're just completely stuck, and you're just pivoting on top of this thing's hand, which is just gripping closer and tighter on your innards.
Would that count as an action?
Innards. That is one action. You have a bonus action.
I'm gonna activate the poison on the dagger.
Okay. Give me 2 wisdom saving throws. One make, one fail. Yeah, you feel this thing wrenching and pulling at this light within you. It's not really it doesn't really feel like the same as if something was wrenching at your heart or your stomach or your innards. It just feels like you're being like dragged backwards. Then there's a moment where it's almost like you lose breath. But it's not really, it's that air you're breathing. You think that's air you're breathing? It's not really, it doesn't really wrench at your breath. You just feel that light within you slightly dim for a moment, and you take 14 psychic damage as this thing starts just pulling at that light. There's a moment for the rest of us, or maybe Raja, if he was to see this happening, we can see Carlias up in the air with this sandstorm, spectral sandstorm, and a hand grabbing and holding up there. And then it does that same thing that it did to Raja, where it sort of pulls a spectral version of Carlias from the more tangible versions. It's wrenching at his soul and his spirit, trying to pull him free of his body. Carlias, your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna try and attack with the dagger of venom.
Give me an attack roll.
Plus poison.
Jeez, man.
What is the poison damage on top of that? Or is it just it becomes poisoned?
You gave it poison damage, if I'm not mistaken. Because it's venom, not poison.
Let me try and find in the bio what it says.
Also, is Carlias level 5?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You get a +1 bonus to attack, and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. It must succeed a DC 15 Constitution saving throw, or take 2d10 poison damage.
11. Wait, hang on. 14.
It still fails.
Okay, so roll me 2d10. Nice.
Not bad.
So 23.
23.
You just slice down at this thing, and although it wouldn't necessarily hurt sand, or the fact that it's poison doesn't really necessarily matter, you just wrench a huge great line across this thing's face, that sort of skeletal face with just like really taut skin brought across it, almost like a zombie. You just wrench this thing across this thing's face, and then you just see the sand particles and ethereal magic that creates this thing just kind of explode, loads of it launching backwards. It still has hold of you, but it screams and screeches. It's just a huge hit as this thing struggles to hold you up for a moment, but remains held tight to you. Is that the end of your turn?
Let me just check something real quick. I get an extra attack, actually. Complete forgot. I'm level 5, so I get the extra attack, so...
And your Vicious Mockery does 2d4.
I haven't played as Carlisle in a while, so I'm learning more. Another attack with the Dagger of Venom.
Okay. Make on the poison, but you still hit it. Another 8. Yeah, same thing. You just drive this thing down again, stab it, hits this thing in its like shoulder, top of its arm that's holding you up, and it more sand launched away from it. It does let out another screech. As far as you can tell, the thing remains pretty much exactly the same. It doesn't really bleed or weaken necessarily, but that doesn't mean it isn't bleeding in its own weird little way. Anything else?
No, that'll be it.
All right, maybe 2 whiz saving throws, please. That is 2 fails, I think. I'm gonna write it down. Yep. So you take 8 psychic damage, and then 7 psychic damage. This thing is just wrenching at that light within you, just pulling it, and you just see Carlisle wrestling with his own soul and spirit as this thing is just like screeching and clawing at this light, holding on to it, pulling at it. Carlisle wildly slashing with this magical dagger. Your turn, Carlisle.
Gonna spend 1 grit.
Mm-hmm.
But then do 2 shots with Scar Shot.
Okay.
So the first one gets advantage.
Is his ghostly form of Cerberus jammed still?
No. Luckily, it's not the real Cerberus.
Cerberus is an option.
So,
Just asking.
All right, 1 Scar Shot, 1 Cerberus.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Yeah. 2 hits.
19 in total.
Yeah, I feel like you're being held up by this thing. You just pull both guns out, aim them both downwards, and just both cannons go off. Again, the ripples kind of move out from around you, and there's kind of a concussion of sound as well that echoes off of what is nothing. And then this thing just sand as these spectral kind of sand particles explode up and around you inside of this swirling mess. The thing is badly hit. You see it kind of shake, and it withers. The sandstorm kind of dissipates for a second, and then it kicks back up again as it looks back up at you and screeches, wrenching once again at that sort of ethereal light. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Right. Give me 2 whiz saves. 1 fail. You take 8 psychic damage as this thing wrenches down on you, and then you steel yourself as it tries to pull down again, but it doesn't seem to have as much strength as it had before. Your turn.
What does it take to be able to use a potion? Is that a bonus or a full action?
Full action.
So, sorry, just to give this clear, would I be able to take a potion then do an extra attack?
Nope.
No.
You can only extra attack if you take the attack action.
Can one shot with Scar Shot. Oh wait, can I do the Cerberus special move that it has?
Yeah, I can't even remember what it is, even though I made it up.
Where is it?
Oh, you take consecutive.
Triple shot. Fire all 3 shots at once, taking a minus 3, 6, 9 penalty to each of the attack rolls.
Yeah. Wait, no. You only have 2 shots loaded in it, right?
Hmm.
You can do a double shot.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'll do 1 shot with Scar Shot. And then the Cerberus. That's a minus 6 on the second and a minus 3 on the first.
So Scar Shot misses, but the Cerberus both hit. You're being wrenched at this thing. It's screeching up at you. The sandstorm kicks up. You lean down or kind of swing at an angle and fire Scar Shot off. You see the bullet pass through the sandstorm, but then into just nothingness below. It disappears, and then you just bring Cerberus round and you see the barrels. Boom, 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 fire 2 shots off. The explosive concussive noise just blasts outwards. The sandstorm around you stops. The thing lets go of you and just it's shredded away into nothingness. The creature lets out one final screech before it just sinks into the blackness below and is completely gone. The form of Raja, which was kind of floating and bound in these icy chains, continues to float, but this time it's floating downwards and it sort of lands on an ethereal nothingness. Chains around Raja's body release. Light that is within him and within you grows to a huge, almost blinding light. You, as well as him, float downwards and then just become nothing but light. You're no longer really a form. You don't have guns. You don't have anything. You just become complete light. And that is the end of that combat. And the last we'll see of you, for now, potentially forever, we'll see how the others do. Back in Shallow Scar, the rest of you wake up in the Minstrel's Chalice. And I guess you went for a full night's rest, yeah? Like an 8-hour sleep.
Yeah.
So you guys went back there like pretty late, right? It was like midnight.
Yeah. It was like 1 a.m.
I was actually going to ask about this. We went there to bed late, but Vasilius has stuff to do early, so I'm not sure if it interrupts the long rest or not, because I think the rule said something like you can take up to an hour of activity and then go back to sleep, right? As long as it's not...
you sort of don't even really need to sleep. If you do too many long rests without any sleep, then you'll take exhaustion. But in general, you don't need to sleep for 8 hours. You can get up as long as you're not doing anything completely insane and strenuous.
No, he's going to do nothing strenuous. Walking and talking is all. I don't know if the others would wake up as well, but Vasilius wakes up at the crack of dawn and is going to head to the train station.
Okay. Anyone else? You're all in the same room.
I mean, I'd be awake,
Sleeping.
but I'd be waking up like every 3 hours to do the cantrip and cool everything down again and then go back to sleep. I wouldn't follow him. I'd just be awake.
I'd probably still be asleep.
Well, that fucks up your sleep, actually.
What?
You just said, wait, what?
Yeah, casting a spell is like a full action, so you wouldn't get a long rest. So I would say of everyone, maybe you didn't get a long rest. You can have basically as many short rests as you want. But because
that's
you have to micromanage this, set a couple of chalices.
Yeah.
You're in the minstrel's chalice, and you're having to.
Are we able to ask?
Then I'll.
Are we able to ask them for a bucket of ice, or is it too late to do that?
Yeah, I would say it's too late to do that. Also, I don't think they have ice. It's hard enough getting water.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they had like salted ice or whatever to keep it cool in a nice box.
It's the nicest inn in town, but it's not the nicest inn in the world.
I don't know how much we can Deus Ex, Redact, Kojima this, but I could not create water. I forgot I can't. Shut up. Go back.
I forgot like the key thing to your character.
He doesn't actually do anything anymore. He just talks sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you have a huge.
If you miss one more combat tension, you're off the team. Okay.
Oh shit.
You're on notice.
Right. Yeah. So I would see him leave. I probably would just be engorged in what I'm doing though, or engrossed in what I'm doing.
Okay, and Arden is just like splayed out asleep somewhere. Lash.
Yep, I'm out.
Snoring.
they're all asleep on various spots of the floor while Vasilius is in the big nice cozy bed himself. He's just like. Yeah. He's just like, I had this terrible dream that I had to sleep on an uncomfortable wooden floor. Oh, it was awful. But no, he does wake up around sunup because that's when the train is supposed to be leaving, and he's going to the train station.
Yeah. Okay. Walter, are you just following, or are you attempting to tag along?
No.
Are you staying?
Yeah.
Okay. Vasilius, you head out of town and just nip across to the train station. It's not too far. It's like a 5-minute walk. And arriving at the train station, you see that the beginnings of the preparations to set off for the train have begun. A couple of half-orcs are lifting boxes onto the cargo area, and you see the small gnomish figure of the conductor going about his business, moving hurriedly between the platform and the train as you approach.
He's going to approach the gnome conductor and say, "Can I spare a moment of your time before..." Hold on. I keep switching voices. Back to Vasilius. "Can I spare a moment of your time before you disembark?"
You make him jump, and he turns on you quickly with his hands up.
Why do you have to creep up on people all the time?
I wasn't really creeping. I think you're just preoccupied.
Hey, you're pretty creepy. You have a demon as a pet. That's pretty creepy, okay?
That is true. I forgot it. Wait, do I have Cran back? Or did he explode? I do have Cran back.
Yeah,
you have Cran, yeah. But, I mean, he already knows you have Cran.
Right. I couldn't remember if Cran was with me or not, so I guess he's riding my shoulder.
Yeah, because
fair point. Demon riding the shoulder could be creepy to the people who can actually see it, which is not most. I had a question for you.
Yeah, it's 50 gold pieces to travel up to Crimson City.
That's not the question.
Oh. Well, go ahead, then.
You are... The spell you cast on the train, you completely stopped time. I know that is a spell that requires many years of work to master, and you're more experienced than you let on.
Well, yes, of course.
Have you ever...
experienced train conductor and quite the mage in my spare time.
I see. Well, it is quite impressive. Have you ever heard of a spell that could raise the dead?
It's not really my thing. I mean, I've heard of it, of course. I've been around for 200 years. But I don't know how to do it, so I guess if you're looking for somebody, I would go and see perhaps the Chancellor. She's an archpriest, and I think they dabble in that sort of thing.
Do you know... have you ever heard of the archpriest actually being successful with raising someone from the dead?
Oh, yes, there are a few of them around Dustville, and they, as far as I can tell, they're all successful, yes. It's no different to any other spell, really, as long as you have the components.
What components would that be?
If memory serves, it's disgusting. With blood, some like other thing, like you have to go on like a pilgrimage or something, and then diamonds. It's very expensive.
I see. So gathering, say, bone dust would be fairly normal for a resurrection?
What the hell is bone dust? Like dust from our bones?
Binding dust. I'm actually gonna hold up a handful of it and show it to him. This stuff.
See if he looks at it.
That's disgusting. I guess
Yes.
it is necromancy, technically. All those weirdos and devils do that sort of thing too. Ghosts and undeads and spookies. I don't like it very much, but perhaps that is part of the components, yes. It seems very much like their kind of thing.
Okay. Be honest. Have you ever sensed anything off about the Chancellor Vossler?
Absolutely not. She is a stand-up citizen, just like you and I.
I see. Well then, I won't take up any more of your time. I just wanted to come and get your opinion on it because we have a cleric in our group who, after reviewing some writings within the temple, is indicating that this practice of drawing blood from living creatures and gathering dust from the dead is not normal for resurrecting at all, and that there may be other complications involved. I thought perhaps you, with all of your experience and wisdom, would be able to, I don't know, shed some light on why someone would need these extra ingredients beyond a typical resurrection.
Your cleric is the attractive but bumbling one, yes?
Correct.
Well, I'm sure he is not quite as experienced as the Chancellor is. I'm sure he just mistook some of the components. Spellcasting is very difficult, especially for some of the priests. The higher priests, of course, they have certain spells that, well, it's not even privy to one like myself, should I try to learn it. So there are elements that, with the necromancy and the divine castings that nobody knows, really, except for a handful of people around the world.
Okay.
Some spells must be guarded, you must understand. Even one like you, who acquired the gifts. It is very difficult to find the ability to raise the dead and bring people truly back to life so that they are not a zombie or a monster, but themselves. I would imagine that it is the real deal. Although necromancy kind of freaks me out still. No matter how well you do it, it's still pretty dark. I say what's dead should remain dead, but, you know, love is a strange thing. We all do strange things for love, to bring our loved ones back.
It does strike me as rather odd that a archpriest would resort to necromantic rituals instead of the divine magic that they are known for.
I am not sure that divine magic is able to bring people back, regardless of how hard you try. Not unless an actual god came down and delivered your friends back to you. I think necromancy is the only way. And why only the archpriests know, perhaps there is something else to it, but I don't question it, because I like keeping my head, you know? I don't fuck with the Chancellor. No, none of that for me. You ever hear about the Kenku that used to live here?
No, what happened to them?
Well, they all got wiped the fuck out. Yeah, that's for crossing the Chancellor.
Really, all of them?
Well, I guess there's probably a few still around.
What did they do?
Well, they stole from the Chancellor, took a big bag of gems straight off the back of a cart. All being delivered to the Chancellor. They was her gems, and they took them. But, you know, pain of death is a pretty severe price. I don't want to mess with those Chancellors.
Can I insight check in general most of what he's telling me, specifically his high regard for the Chancellor bit?
Yeah. Yeah. Like throughout this entire conversation, he seemed relatively truthful. He doesn't seem like the type that really goes out of his way to lie. He's more like just, yeah, I'll answer your question so that I can get on with my work kind of speaking to you seems to be the gist of what he's saying. Okay. Although around the point when you start mentioning the Chancellor, especially when you were asking like whether there's anything going on with her, he seems like he's a little bit not untruthful, but like a lot more cautious about what he's saying. He's definitely got a level of fear for them, but in a way they're also his boss. So,
right. All right then. Wish us luck. We're gonna go try to have our friends brought back and hope that they don't come back as mindless zombies things again.
Well, if they do, good luck with it. I'm gonna be out of here on a train. I take it you're not getting on the train.
No time. Gotta go to the ritual. Safe travels. I'll catch a ride some other time.
Good luck, and don't piss off the Chancellor, okay?
I am preferring to avoid that. Yes.
Even if you think that you are strong enough to strong-arm her, she has friends in high places, you know? Sometimes there's some fights you shouldn't take. Just let her do her thing.
Well, it's not so much of wanting to strong-arm her. I'm more concerned with her strong-arming us afterwards, as she did indicate that the individuals brought back would be, quote, bound to her forever. I need to make sure there are no complications to this, because if I bring back the dwarf that I've been assigned to protect, and he then has some permanent modification to him, or, you know, he's enslaved to this archpriest, I guarantee you my employers will be quite unhappy with it. So I'm just trying to think ahead to prevent any complications.
The little gnome conductor sort of like taps his feet and thinks for a moment and says,
well, like I said, I don't really know too much about all that. How one would be bound to one that resurrects them, but it's never as clear as it seems, all that stuff. You should know about it.
Can I insight that part?
Yeah. Not sure. Okay. He just seems a little dismissive.
Right. Again, safe travels, and I'll leave the train station.
He hops back up onto the train and carries on, just goes straight back to work, shouting orders at the various people that are moving things onto the train, as well as the train driver and that cleric, the water maker who makes the water for the train. You going back to the inn?
Vasilius is gonna, like, on his way out, kind of stop and size up the cleric on the train instead.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen him before. The cleric is
no, I mean, he's. I'm just thinking, would these questions maybe be better directed to a cleric than a wizard?
You mean an insight check, or an arcana, or a religion check? Really, any of those would be fine. This elf was the same one that kind of tried to help you with the. He sent something off with the coffins on the train, but really he is just a water maker. He's very low down on the rungs. He would definitely be, unless he is very specifically has some fucking super specific knowledge that, you know, just anyone could technically have. You're better off speaking to the gnome. The gnome would know more about this kind of thing, presumably, unless this elf is literally the elf that was trained by Chancellor Vossler. You know, the odds are extremely low. He's basically just a water maker. He's less powerful than Arden, less knowledgeable than Arden.
Hey.
Yeah, Vasilius will just kind of. Vasilius will look back at the other cleric and think, "Nah, he's just a water maker," and dismiss it and head back to town, or head back to the.
As you walk off, the cleric turns around and his eyes glow red. I'm kidding, they don't. The cleric just goes about his work. He's just making water for the train. At the inn, Arden, Walter, and Lash. You guys finish your long rest. You awaken. The day is ready. It's yours. You've got all your full complement of spells. Your HP back. Well, Walter, you don't. You have whatever you had plus the HP you regained from your hit die. Although I'm sure in that time you would have had a sleepy or a meditation. Do you meditate as a half elf, or you actually?
I think it's only elves.
All right, so you probably have a little nap.
I'm gonna check just to be sure.
At some point. I don't think you do either.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only elves, but I was curious about that too.
So I would hop up and check the temperature of the mugs of blood that we have, just to make sure they seem cool.
How are you checking the temperature?
I would just put my hand near them.
Fuck you up. What is it you're casting on this?
Chill touch.
Chill touch.
Well, no, it wouldn't hurt her because it's chilling.
I guess it wouldn't. Yeah, it's just keeping it cold. It's fucking cold. Yeah.
Yeah. They're cold. Don't worry.
Very cold.
They're good.
Where's Vasilius?
Oh, he left.
Left? He has the diamonds.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I was just. Yeah. I mean, he should be back. Right?
Oh.
He doesn't do that, right?
I don't know. He has his own agenda. Arden, wake up.
5 more minutes.
Well, you're looking very beautiful today, Arden.
I know.
There's a
Just rolls
particular
over.
shaft of light that's coming in through and like perfectly lighting up Arden in wherever he's sleeping on the ground or in like the lounge. There's chairs. There's like a lounge chair that he's maybe in. He just looks divine.
Really, very beautiful. Anyway,
Worthless character.
where's
You look good.
Vasilius?
Who cares if you look good doing it? Celius
I'm gonna be
walks in the front door.
pacing. Vasilius,
Mhm.
we
Good morning.
have to. Well, I can't go, but you guys have to go.
You should come, even if maintaining your distance.
Okay, I'll wait
You.
outside.
You can disguise her again. Give her the giant nose human form back, right?
Oh, that's how you. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Why
Yeah.
she looked like a man with a big nose instead of a bird.
I just become an elf right in front of him. Appearances can be quite deceiving in this area. And then back to normal.
I wish I could do that.
Hey, Arden, can you disguise me? We gotta get going.
Fine. All right, come here, sit down.
Can you make me look less like a man this time?
Yes.
If your enemies are searching for a woman, looking like a man is a better option.
Yeah, but
Very
she
good
sounds
point.
like a woman.
There's that too.
Can you sound like a man?
I can sound like a man.
You sound the same.
I can definitely sound like a man.
I can't change that part of her.
You can't change the voice?
No.
I thought
Nope. No. No. I thought the
All
same
right.
thing.
All right, stand back. Here we go. Let's see. Today you're going to be fabulous. Let's go with a little. Let's start with the mustache. Here we go.
What?
That famous Tommy Wiseau mustache is now on
I don't.
Lash.
He doesn't have a
got it.
mustache.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. But if he did,
Is this
He
the
He
the
did it would be
Superman
famous.
from Justice League mustache that's been
Oh.
CGI'd out?
Yeah, it's good. Cavill.
Yeah.
that, by the way, is like the biggest fucking.
It's the greatest thing ever.
It's like it winds me up because I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, how much easier it is to have the thingy. But it's such a flex from Paramount. I saw a tweet that was just like,
Yeah.
that is the best flex from Paramount to whoever
Yeah.
the fuck.
How
thing
much
is.
money did that cost? I wonder.
$25
Million.
million.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Wait,
They
what
just
are we talking about?
Okay, real quick. Superman, Justice League. He was filming Mission Impossible 6 and Justice League, and he has a mustache in Mission Impossible 6. So Paramount was like, fuck no, you can't shave your mustache. So they had to CGI the mustache out in Justice League, and it looks terrible.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
I want to see a picture of him as Superman being super serious with that mustache on, unedited.
No, they've done it. Yeah, you just Google it.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Loads of people have Googled it so that they're just like, I wish they just left it on the.
It pops up already. Superman mustache. Oh God.
Oh man.
It's the first result after Superman. What?
Yeah. It's a big thing right now.
So you guys, Lash, you look relatively like Tommy Wiseau with a Superman mustache, but it's probably not Arden's best work ever, because you just woke him up and he wanted 5 more minutes of sleep. But it's pretty good. It's good enough. You don't look like a Kenku. You definitely look like a human, just a really weird one, even more weird than kind of.
It's like
God rest his soul. Tommy Wiseau is dead now.
What? So what? It's a DC 12 intelligence examination to see through the disguise, right?
Pretty much that's how I'm running it. Yeah.
Or investigation or something like that.
Yeah.
If somebody has true sight, does that count? Do they just see through it?
No, it doesn't, because this isn't magic.
Yeah, it's just a.
I think
This
right?
They would see through Vasilius's disguise, but your disguise is physical magic, or it's not magic, so true sight doesn't see through it. They'd have to investigate it.
On a rule idea, if I did, I would assume what it's like if you did your makeup in the morning and you look at it and you're like, oh God, that looks like shit. Would I be able to retry to touch it up?
I think with a disguise kit, maybe. I mean, it's one of those weird meta things.
Yeah.
But I guess also, you do your makeup, it's bad. But have you ever had to do your makeup twice, Tenchi? Because it's fucking well annoying. It takes forever.
No, it's a pain in the
I
ass.
probably
You don't do it twice. You don't do it twice. You just go.
You'd have disadvantage doing it the second time.
Yeah, you just look
That's
like
how I
shit.
would rule it.
I mean, it's
So-
not that bad. It's not the
Yeah,
worst
it's
thing.
passable.
I'm gonna try it again if we don't
I
mind.
don't know. Okay, yeah. Go
I'll
for
take
it.
disadvantage with it.
Yeah. It is so perfect.
So wait, you finish it the first time, and
Just
I rolled
put a blanket over.
I rolled investigation.
Oh, shit.
I rolled investigation because you did it the first time, and Vasilius is kind of looking at it, and he's like, "I can still see a beak."
Wow.
Yeah, no, this is it's so bad. The reason this is bad.
Just put a blanket over. There
The
you go.
reason-
You're done.
The reason this is so bad is that you run out of stuff because you've used it so many times now. You've started to run out of the things that make up a disguise kit, which is like cosmetics, hair dye, small props. Yeah, you just run out. Like you're like, oh shit, I'm out of Maybelline and Krylon stuff.
Second one sounds like an outer space material.
So,
I'm just gonna.
so now you don't look you look like Lash, but with like a mustache.
Okay.
Under the feathers.
And you're still proficient with the disguise kit, but you don't own one. You need to go and buy one.
Okay. I see their expressions, and I just pull up my hood and tuck the sapphire under where it's not visible, and say, "Can we let's just go."
Vasilius, can you just make her invisible? Can you do that? Is that a thing that you do, or I
No.
can't?
This magic affects me and me alone.
If I need to, I can use my ring, but it only lasts 10 minutes, so hopefully I
Your
don't
ring?
need to. My ring. Oh, you don't know about my ring. I have
No.
a special ring.
Is it
It's a very precious,
is it precious?
ring.
It is precious to me.
I read about that once. That's art mimics life, I guess.
Can we go?
Yes,
Um.
we should go.
Well, I mean, I
Lash-
could try and get some more ingredients and fix her disguise. The mustache is horrible. I wish we could just kind of take magic and just remove it. Just barely, at least. It's disgusting.
I mean, I can hit her with a firebolt. That'll work, right?
I feel like currently she'll draw more attention with that absurd mustache than just not having a disguise at all.
Well, I feel like I'm gonna stand firm. She can't remove it. I won't let anyone remove it.
I just reach out and just I just like smear the fake mustache off.
Out of all the things you've ever done, this is paramount the worst thing you've ever done.
Well, of course it didn't work. You
Let's stop
painted it on. You didn't. It's not even a real mustache. It's just paint.
It's art.
Is there a mirror in this room?
Sure.
All right. So I'm gonna go over to the mirror and just kind of like half shriek. I can't
No, you look-
leave.
you
I
look
can't
great.
go.
Is there a
No.
basin of water in the room? Like there, because we don't have
Yeah,
running
plants.
water, but I assume they would give us like a.
There's one
be
for
like
the
a-
plants.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
okay.
figure you've probably done the whole thing. You do have like an ensuite area with like a wash basin in that they can bring you water to. So yeah, you have all that available.
They'll
to-
notice me. I can't go.
I'm just like kind of pushing her towards the water. Clean that crap off.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Wait, hold on. Leave some for the plants.
And I'm just gonna keep scrubbing. Look, just guys, just go.
You should come with us, but not come inside. Perhaps wait on the roof or around back in case a fight breaks out.
I can't be seen around town. There are no Kenku left.
Here's the thing. There's windows, right?
Yeah.
Then
Okay,
don't
cool.
be seen.
We'll get in, and then I can crack a window, and then you can come in the window.
I can't go in the temple like this.
Yeah, there's rafters, right? You guys have been there. I don't know where's Raja, by the way? Is he in the temple?
Yeah.
Is he there?
And
Which one?
Carlias.
He's the dead human, right? Yes, his body's in the temple.
Yeah, his name is Raja.
Nice.
Cool. I'll crack a window. That works, right?
All right. I still don't think I should go. I can't be seen. How bright is it out, Vasilius?
Well, the sun is just coming up. It's still not that bright. I just returned from the train station at the
Alright.
crack of dawn.
Well, let's go now. And I pull my hood even tighter, and I'm just gonna keep my bill down and tuck my sapphire in.
All right.
Yeah, you can sneak around this town really well.
Okay.
I would say just purely because this is your hometown.
I have a lot of
and
practice.
You know it very well, and also you rolled that epic history check before, which in my mind was like, this is how much she knows about the secret place. You can roll a stealth check with advantage to try and hide
Okay.
on your travel, and pretty much like, yeah, you're just like from shadow to shadow
Gotcha.
as effectively as is possible. Hey. And the rest of you just casually walk out.
Yep.
Yeah.
The streets are not yet crowded. You should have no problem sneaking along rooftops or alleyways.
Right. I'll be behind the church.
You guys leave the room and head out towards the front. There's the front desk area where there's usually that gentleman. Today there is a different man, human male, dressed in the same kind of get-up. And as you guys all pile out, he does not see Lash. Lash is creeping along I don't know, she's up in the rafters doing the Mission Impossible thing. I don't know, you're like a hyper thief. So you're
Vasilius is thick with 4 C's. She's probably just walking behind him.
yeah,
He's a door.
You're like the bush that people used to use in old like cartoons. As you walk past him, he gives you a little nod and says, "Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you like some breakfast?"
Yes.
Perhaps when we return from our morning errands.
No.
Mm.
No.
No, not right now.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
You get it to go?
well, it would have to be prepared. If you'd be willing to wait, then yes, I'm sure that we can arrange for you to leave with it.
Can you send it to the temple?
Temple, I'm afraid no. You'd have to. I can't send it there. We're quite understaffed this morning. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine.
Hmm.
It's okay.
Well, we can keep plate ready for you. If you want some breakfast, then feel free to head back.
Keep
I hope you. 3 plates, of course, yes. Almond bread as well, yes?
Yes.
Oh, we have fresh almond bread. Baked this morning.
Can I? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I get one of those to go?
Yeah, give me a persuasion
Oh
check.
fuck yeah.
I'm going to grab his ear
I'm just gonna
and
listen
begin
up, listen
pulling
up.
him
I'll catch
like a
up.
parent,
Hold on.
like a
I'll
parent
catch up.
tugging a
no,
child.
It's okay. I can run really fast. It's fine. Come on.
Well, I'll have to go and cut it. And yes, just wait a moment.
Run.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I'll cut.
okay.
I'll cut a slice for you.
I'll come. Don't worry.
He goes and cuts you a slice of almond bread, but it's going to take 5 minutes while the rest of them leave.
Just go. I'll get there. I know where it is.
I'm waiting outside the front door for him.
Lash is
I'm
waiting down
gonna
the
go.
alleyway.
Yeah.
Arden, what are you doing?
I'm just tempted. I was like, well, Arden just wanders off by himself like he always does. Nah, he's just waiting outside, probably
No,
sulking.
Arden has a readied guiding bolt. at the
Arden
door.
goes to Dead Rise.
Arden randomly goes elsewhere so we can not have a
I
cleric.
feel like a book could be written about Arden's random adventures. It's like it's all set to the tone of Sea Spot Run. Like
Arden, give me a perception check.
Yay!
As you're wandering off and Vasilius is stamping his feet and Lash is hiding down an alleyway and there's a gentleman preparing some almond bread for Walter, you for a moment, your sort of vision blurs a little bit and you hear the crack of a gun. Looking around you to see where that comes from, it sounds like it's very distant and away from you, and you see a kind of very strange thing, almost like that Matrix bullet ripple. It moves across your vision. And then it disappears again, like shaking your head. It sort of feels like a weird thing that you've noticed very briefly, almost like ripples in the air that move across you, as well as an echoing distant gunshot.
What is that?
That does it. It seems magical in nature.
Give me an Arcana check. Nah, you just got something wrong with your eyes.
Oh,
Oh, that's weird. Huh?
anybody else?
No
What?
one's around again. Everybody leaves me.
Wait, did he
we're
actually
going to
wander
the-
off?
He's wandered off. Yeah, he's away from you.
I feel like before he could wander off, Vasilius would stop him.
Has
like,
he
I
tried-
would probably just be like, go get that big guy.
Okay. Can I figure out where he went? Like, I guess
Not too
Vasilius
far.
turned for 2 seconds to say stop with the almond bread.
Yeah,
He
I mean,
turns around
there's-
and where'd he go?
Arden's gone.
Give me a
And he's-
perception check. And how tall are you?
Like,
Not well. Actually, yeah, Arden and Vasilius.
Isn't Arden like 6'5", 6'6"?
no, Arden's like 7,
Bear bugs are huge. He's like
7'4" or something. Let's
hard
say.
to miss.
But how
Vasilius
short
is
is Vasilius? Is
he's
the other?
he's 5'6", but he also just like elbows his way through every crowd ever.
It's fine. Yeah, I'm just trying to work out your field of view because everyone else is a dwarf going to work. It's like the 7 dwarves doing the hi-ho thing all
Yeah.
the way through town, heading towards the northwest where the mines are. And yeah, like although Arden has wandered off, you see a very large Fearbold figure in this kind of strange armor and this divine look to him because for some reason today this shaft of light is following him. He's fucking amazing looking.
I'm just gonna immediately
Glints off of him. He's kind of looking around, he's muttering something to himself about how no one's ever around, and then you barge through and get to him.
I'm gonna touch his mind with mine using the awakened mind thing as usual.
Oh God,
Where
that's
are you
probably not a
going?
good idea.
Oh god.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not the telepathy thing. I don't think he gets any of your thoughts.
No.
No, it's probably gonna be worse than saying the fucking Cthulhu thing.
Yeah, you just hear Vasilius' voice. Where are you going? Except
just
it's in your head.
Just a gigantic wave of narcissism and aloofness just hits you.
Wait. From which of them?
Yeah.
Your gigantic wave of narcissism and aloofishness just crashes into another wave of narcissism and aloofness, and they just kind of even out in the center. Where are you going?
Oh, see there you are. Where's everybody else?
They're back there where you wandered off from.
Well, I mean, if we're going here, I'm not the one that wandered off. You always wander off, all of you. So where are we going now?
We're
we
waiting
not
for
a
the
church?
human wanted almond bread, and he's obtaining it at the inn. I'm looking back. Has he come out the door yet?
Yeah, do I get my fucking bread?
Walter, you walk out with a fresh slice of almond bread.
I'm pulling a small little jar of mayonnaise that I keep and just...
Yeah, where'd you get that mayonnaise, boy?
I made it, motherfucker. I made it. From sand chickens.
Okay.
So, yes, this is who we're waiting for. Look what he's doing. What is that?
What is that disgusting white fluid?
Looks horrible.
What is he
It's actually like a
doing?
yellow paste by this point. It's probably
Oh,
bad.
that's. So we're waiting. Where's the others?
The bird is staying out of sight.
You just hear this. Psst, let's get a move on.
Holy shit.
Looked better with the mustache.
I'm waving Walter to hurry up.
Hey, you guys want some?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
It's homemade.
No.
Sorry for the smell.
Yes.
It ferments.
Yes. Let's go.
I'm walking and talking like.
Okay.
And you're
so
heading to the,
we're heading to the temple.
Okay. Yeah, you guys all start heading up towards the temple. First time you've seen it by day. Again, it's this like relatively striking stone building, kind of a circular design of I guess, I don't know, it's not even really a circular design. It has a rounded design to it with a central spire in the center, which houses a huge white tree on the inside. There are lots of windows around, although they're all stained glass windows. Give me a perception check, Walter.
Got this, guys. Don't worry. I don't got this, guys.
You jinxed it.
You can worry now.
All of the windows are very easily openable from the inside.
Of course. Perfect.
Lash is like it's kind of like we would probably see the group heading up a hill towards where this huge monument is, and then behind them you just see this like anime black figure just behind them, jumping from alleyway to alleyway, climbing over buildings because you have no restrictions or penalties to climbing, so you're like a gecko, moving around the town very easily. And you guys all head up towards the Church of Mistra. I think it's a good time to take our first break.
Oh, never mind. All right, we'll see you all in 3 to 5 hours. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
We'll be right back, everyone. Go join the Discord on the break.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. It's your boy,
Skinny penis.
Jacksepticeye. You guys head up towards the Church of Mystra, which is beyond the Chancellor's Manor, which is sitting huge and imposing on one side of you, another stone, relatively old-looking building. And you push away from the riff-raff of the peasantry, moving towards their day jobs and up towards the more serene outskirts of town, where sits this huge stone temple at the Church of Mystra. The doors this morning are open, wide open, and but inside there isn't like a lot of people moving or milling about. It's pretty much the same spectacle. You see a couple of acolytes in their very plain hempen clothes moving about. Some of them carrying books, because this serves as a somewhat library and archive, and some of them just cleaning or moving about various church things that I don't understand, because I've been a diehard atheist forever. I'll research church stuff for my next campaign, I promise. I don't know what they do in a church. It's like ships. Whenever we get on a ship in a campaign, I'm like, yeah, you're on a boat floaty machine and you float all the way to the other side.
God is in there. He gives a pep talk and gives out vanilla wafers.
Yeah, he's just doing a TED talk every Sunday morning.
Pretty awesome.
It's a lot of wine.
TED talk.
No, yeah, you move in. There's a couple of actually, are you going in? Good point. Before I say you go,
We decide to go the opposite direction.
I don't know, you guys.
We decide to go to Dead Rise.
There's a huge
I'm
chance that this group will just walk past it and out into the sands. I don't know.
Hey, remember that princess we're supposed to go find?
Yeah, remember that.
all two characters that would even know about that.
Yeah, right.
I remember. Don't worry. You going in?
Yeah, so when we get up to the front door, I guess Vasilius is kind of looking around. He's like, I know the bird is here somewhere. Where is she?
So I wouldn't have heard that. I'm around back, looking for.
He's looking to see if he can spot where she is. I'm gonna assume she's
Do you want me to?
waiting on the roof or something.
Do you want me to do a call for her?
No, keep it quiet. The less people know that we're here, the better.
Okay.
In case there's a mess here. All right then. So we need the two brought back. Let's just let her do her thing and hope that there's nothing. If she brings back the dwarf and there's some sort of complications, and Blossom will have me killed.
Well, I mean, let's find out. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, what the heck? Vasilius just pushes the doors open.
They're already open. You can just step in.
Oh, okay. He pushes, and there's nothing. Oh, yeah.
Balls.
Whoops! Just walks.
Yeah, you guys head on in. Lash, you're just wandering around.
So I'm not wandering. I would have taken an alleyway toward the back, if the back is the least trafficked. Whichever the least trafficked place in the chapel, church, temple is near a window.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of windows. There's no like rear entrance here. There's just the huge front doors.
Sure.
All of the windows on the ground floor are just stainless steel windows that are just embedded into the walls. They're not like the type that you can open and close.
Yeah.
You can give me an investigation check to look about and see if you can find an entranceway or a potential entranceway.
Side note.
Yes.
I'm not walking in there with Kran on my shoulder because I don't know if the archpriest can see him. So he's going to be remaining invisible and just flying above wherever Lash is.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. What do you say to him? What do you get? I want to know what you tell him to do.
Oh, he specifically says, "Stay outside and stick with the rogue and stay out of sight. The priest inside might be able to see you."
Okay. He floats off, muttering to himself. He said, "Stay out of sight." He didn't say I had to shut my mouth. And then starts flying on up. and around to where Lash is, invisible Lash, so even you don't know he's there. Looking over the church area, you see that there's pretty much no way of you busting into this place. You're sort of like scoping the place out, right, as if you were gonna thieve.
Right, as if I might sneak in the window.
Yeah, and there's no like immediate and obvious entranceway until you start looking up that central tower, and the tower looks like it might have been here before it was a church, or maybe it served some other purpose before it was just all it really is now just a huge tower that goes upwards. There was once a bell up there, but there isn't anymore. It now just serves as this kind of home for that tree at the center, which has been here as long as you've ever been here. The tree, I mean. And some of the windows that are up there are closed, presumably locked, but are openable. Nice. And that's about it. Really, your only option is like quite high up on this tower.
So being aware that the shit could hit the fan at any point, I would just be crouched back there in proximity to the area that I could climb up and potentially open windows, just kind of waiting.
Yeah. You're going all the way up the tower?
Or no, I'm going to stay on the ground.
Then, this is sort of here's the shape of the... Here's how it looks, right? There's nothing secretive. So if you zoom all the way out, and I'll undo the dynamic lighting. So this is kind of how the shape of it. So if you imagine that sort of extrapolated outwards, the outside areas are curved around a little more than this map allowed me to do, but they kind of curve like this. It's almost sci-fi spaceshipy, really, in its design. But they're just like a one-story high thing, whereas this huge central tower is very tall. It would be like 100 feet upwards. Like you'd have to like Assassin's Creed up that tower to be prepared to jump in, or you can wait around and mill about in the base.
I think I'll do that. I think I'll wait around the base to see if anyone messages me.
If there is a horrific combat, you have to climb up like 60 feet and then climb down 60 feet to get to the ground level where, there will be potentially a fight happening somewhere inside.
Perceive?
There's no quick and easy access unless you're already in there, but...
do I perceive any kind of ledge that I could rest on so I'm not having to cling the whole time? Is the window ledge...
Yeah, it's pretty thick. I feel like you could perch on it like an actual bird.
Like an actual bird. Then I'm going to... scurry on up there and perch, presumably out of sight, to the side of the window, and wait there.
Yeah, give me another stealth check for you being up there. This one is
sneaky about it.
This one is non-advantage, but it doesn't matter because you have a +10. For fuck's sake! 13. That's insane. Lash maneuvers around one way. Starts to sort of scopes the place out, probably over the course of some of the time that you're already in here about to do whatever you're about to do, and then eventually comes to the decision to sneak her way up, and it's like a proper Assassin's Creed up the side of this building, but
it's glitchy.
It's really good. The area is there is a hay bale like somewhere near.
I can dive to it if needed.
Are there birds perched on the ledge right next to it?
There's Once she gets up there, it's like suddenly the camera zooms out and she sort of reveals more of shallow scar. You probably did this at level 1. No, she climbs up and the area is relatively remote and nobody's on the back end of it because it's just behind you is just the expanse of desert that just goes out endlessly. You climb up relatively stealthily and without anybody able to see you. Finding one of these windows, you do find it locked. You can try and open it with a thieves' tools check.
Yeah, might as well.
It's more like jacking a car where you have to like jimmy the window open from the outside as opposed to pick a lock. But
Sure.
I think you have like a crowbar and stuff. I don't know what you have actually.
Yeah, I'd actually have to check the kit. I'm not sure either.
I think thieves' tools have a bunch of different things and not just lock picks.
Yeah. So there's my check. Let's see. What are
Includes a
these?
small file set of lockpicks, a small mirror on a metal handle, a set of narrow-bladed scissors, and a pair of pliers.
Hey, it's the pliers that you need. Why not?
Nice.
And yeah, maybe like working in conjunction with like your rapier. You're like jimmying open this really old window, which is yeah, you're just about able to begin working on it and relatively quietly. As far as anybody looking up can tell, Lash just fits in perfectly with the shadow of the window, the sun coming in on the other side. And yeah, I would say you probably spend your time doing that for a short while the rest of the gang head inwards. Vasilius, Arden, and Walter, you step inside. The scene in here is almost exactly the same as the last time you were here. You see those 3 Goliath figures that you've encountered before, who are like the private guard to the Chancellor, Frelk, Moggan, and Tolgar, guarding the entranceway to where the tree is, and the Chancellor is in there, and she's maneuvering about the tree again. Although she's not actually directly doing anything to the tree, she has a book open in one hand and she's sort of muttering to herself as if she's like almost like she's reciting lines kind of thing. She's just doing laps, kind of circles around the tree. Every now and then as you guys step in and start to walk up, you'll see her pass across the entranceway and then disappear again and then pass across as she's speaking to herself quietly. The Goliaths immediately clock you as you all walk in, and Moggan steps into the entranceway to greet you as you approach. You have come back.
Indeed, we have.
Hello, Morgan.
Hello. You want a private dance with my sister, yes? I will arrange.
Well, I mean, yes, but could we also talk to the Chancellor before?
Have you ever heard of praying mantis?
Well, yes, but my hip flexor doesn't really move that way. It's uncomfortable.
My sister's favorite creature, praying mantis.
Oh.
A little fact for you to remember when you meet her, yes?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You are welcome.
Thank you, Morgan. You're a wonderful person.
What brings you here today?
Well, remember the dead bodies we brought in? We need to resurrect them.
We have brought the required components. We need to see the Chancellor again.
Yes.
Wait here. We were expecting you. It is good. Stay.
He literally does like a dog stay command to each of you. Again, he's a huge imposing figure in this like really nice armor, like expensive looking, really well made, like dwarven made armor. And he turns and heads in towards the area where the Chancellor is. She's kind of doing a lap before he sees her and knocks on one of the shelves containing some of the books inside.
They have arrived.
And she sort of snaps out of it and turns and says, very well. I suppose send one of them in. He turns around, walks out.
Pick one. You go in with the stuff.
I'm just immediately awakened mind communicating with all of them. I already don't like where this is going.
Why not? What's wrong?
I just red flags, and I've been doing this a long time. Stand as close as these Goliaths will permit you to close. Pretend you're curious. I'll go in. Vasilius says, and he turns back to. I'm gonna walk up like this far, like it's basically up to where the Goliaths are, and then just turn back and hold my hand out to Walter, like bring me the chalices of blood. Or the one was a nice chalice and the other was like a dirty mug.
These, yeah. I'm gonna bring it over to him. Yeah.
Morgan stands aside and go in. No sudden movement. He follows you very closely. You can kind of hear the clanking right next to you as you approach the Chancellor. The other two kind of step in the way of the entranceway, and kind of Frelk is like eyeing up Arden. Tolgar is eyeing up Walter very carefully. Basilius, as you step in, you see that the coffins, like I haven't put the coffins here, but the coffins open with Raja and Carlias are sat at either side of the tree. She seems to be moving around them. The bodies inside seem to be still relatively well preserved, sort of relatively peaceful looking. Nothing seems to have changed with them. Like they don't seem to have been interfered with or anything like that. And she places the book down just underneath the tree that she was looking at. And
Can I see the cover or the name of the book?
Yes. Give me a perception check, and tell me the languages that you speak.
Hold on, I have to look up his list. Vasilius is Common, Infernal, and Dwarvish.
Well, in that case, you can see what it says, but it's in a very strange-looking script that you don't understand or are able to read.
Rip. I should have cast Comprehend Languages while I was outside.
The Chancellor... Arden, give me a perception check.
Yeah. No.
Guidance.
Yeah, no, you don't notice it either. The Chancellor turns to you again. She's this half-elven woman of sort of an indiscernible age, though she does look relatively young. Half-elves quite often can be hard to tell exactly how old they are, same as real elves. She turns to you again with that very sort of plain look on her face, sort of unreadable to a degree, and says, you are ready then? Prepared? You have brought
so. I believe so, yes. We have all of the items you've requested. Could you tell me again how this procedure will go?
I can tell you to some degree, but of course some of it is kept back from the public.
Very well.
Well, I will cast a spell. Are you a spellcaster yourself?
No.
Well, it requires a deep arcane energy channeled forth from myself, and the components will allow me to disperse that magic. I will then somewhat summon forth your souls of your friends and attempt to bind them once again to their bodies, call them forth from whichever plane that they are on, and, well, hopefully at the end of it they will return to you. And really, that is all that it is.
Are there any side effects or any permanent changes that we need to be mindful of that, that might come as a shock to their families or anything like that?
It is quite the ordeal to be brought back. They should return to the state that they were in, though they will be rather weak for a small amount of time. There are generally no side effects. You won't suddenly find that they turn on you as a weaker, lesser spell might do.
All right, then. I guess we're ready to proceed.
She nods at each of the bodies and says, the blood. Place one chalice on each of the coffins.
Very well. So the wooden, tavern mug goes on Raja's coffin, and then the nicer silver one goes over to Carlias's. So I'll walk over here and deposit that. What you said the coffin's open, right? Does it look like anything else has been placed inside, or has it been tampered with, or anything like that?
Give me an investigation check.
Rip.
Not sure, really, specifically with Raja. with Carlias seems pretty much the same, roughly. If there's anything that's been tampered with, it's either better concealed than you're willing to obviously rummage around and check,
Right.
or it's just completely imperceptible anyway. She says, and the dust, did you bring me?
Yes, I have. And then he'll pull out the. What did we? Did we put it in? Is it just in his pocket?
Yeah,
I'm going to
you
assume
said
we
you
put
put
it
it
in
in
his
his pocket.
I'm going to assume we put it into a little bag, and he'll pull out that.
Like a pouch, yeah. She says, I'll take that. She holds out a hand.
Oh yeah, he puts it. I guess my camera doesn't show me handing her the bag.
Yeah. She takes it and says, the travel to the mountain, was it particularly arduous?
I had been meaning to ask you about this. Did you know?
No, what?
The fiends inhabiting the cave that you sent us to.
The fiends. Oh, no. You say there are fiends up there, but that makes a lot of sense.
Two more of my party died last night.
I am very sorry to hear that.
There were multiple demons and a shrieking ghost of some sort. We went inside, we retrieved the dust, and then within a matter of seconds, two of them were clawed to death. Myself and my companion, and I'm pointing past Arden to Walter and saying, myself and my companion were barely able to leave the cave alive.
She sort of like steps back and takes a moment to think and says, two of your companions. Was the Dragonborn one of the fallen?
Yes.
Huh. Interesting. Well, did you bring their bodies? Are you wishing to?
We could not. We fled the cave as they were being torn apart. If we'd gone back in, we would have been killed as well.
Well, 2 for 2 it will be, I suppose. Quite the sacrifice. That shall... A silver lining that will help with the potency of the spell.
You've not had this... I don't know how many people you've sent to that cave, but you've never had this happen before? No one's... Have they just never returned, or...
In the year or so since I've known of the cave, I've never willingly sent anybody there. I have heard little more than stories of, people traveling into it and children running close and skittering away. Of course, children always say something's haunted, and, well, now at least we know it is. Thank you very much for the information.
Can I insight check this whole she didn't know business?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
She generally seems like she's telling the truth. She's extremely difficult to read. But actually with this, it does seem like this is kind of news to her, that it's not like that it's legitimately haunted by something relatively powerful. Yeah, I would say even with that, you could glean that maybe she sort of suspected that maybe there would be something going on up there. But I don't think, you think she didn't know that it was like so heavily haunted. But yeah, she sort of seems relatively genuine in the thank you for the information.
Gotcha. Very well then. You also mentioned that after the spell is completed, they would be bound to you in a certain way. How exactly?
Well, that would be the final items that I need. I need something that they covet, one apiece, something that they truly love, an item to draw them forth. And, well, they will be bound in part to me, as I will have to use some of my own life force and my own divine energy to draw them forth. They to me, I to them. We will be bound on a magical level, and they will too be bound to these items.
Can I tell if she's lying about this too? Do I have to re-roll insight or?
No, you can give me an insight check. She seems to be telling the truth. It does seem like this is the way that this magic works. She continues to sort of say that the items work as a sort of Horcrux. They will have to bind their soul not just to the bodies and to me, but to something material, something that holds them here on this plane, for they truly no longer belong here.
Very well.
Should I die, should the items be destroyed, I'm afraid they will very quickly slip away and return.
Very well. And these items must remain here?
I will keep the items and guard them.
Would it not be more prudent to have the owners of said items protect them themselves?
Well,
imagine the damage that could be done if someone were to ever break in here and take them.
She says, you seem an intelligent type, and I will tell you the honest truth. The items are my own insurance.
Insurance.
Should you use them as a way to harm me, which can be done, then I have an insurance policy in place that ensures that should I come to any harm, they will come to harm.
Makes sense. I would probably have a similar fail-safe myself.
She also says, it is also the way it has been done for many years. It is somewhat of a legal requirement, not just here in Dustvale, but for the entire world of the Kryn.
Gotcha. Can I tell? Hold on. What was the one comment? There was something she said that seemed fishy, and now I can't remember what it was. I forgot. Crap. It was important too. She said something that I immediately was like, "That's a load of crap," and I can't remember what it was. Very well. I'm gonna turn and I'm not really asking for permission. I'm just kind of casually doing it and saying, Auden, you knew them much better than I did. You're going to have to tell me which of their belongings meant the most to them.
Well, could I just pass on by, please? I don't want to yell. It's a church.
The Frelk, who I think has the Great Club, turns to Morgan, and Morgan says, "One in, one out," and then looks at you, Vasilius.
Well, I mean, Morgan, we're pretty much like family now. Well, we will be soon. So, just one is a lonely number.
One in, one out. None shall be as close to the Chancellor.
Well, I mean, technically you're in there too, and there's 2 other bodies, so that's like 7, I think.
One in, one out.
Okay, fine. What was the question?
I'm just gonna start walking. Actually, I'm gonna turn and look back at the Chancellor and say, Can we bring him in here to point out their more valued possessions? I don't want to leave him in here by himself.
She says,
I don't.
You may leave and collect the items and bring them back in.
But the items, I'm assuming the items they had were like in the coffins, correct? Or like near them?
I thought you guys had the items. Or like, I think at some point I asked whether you were carrying them or whatever.
We didn't take any possessions from them.
I don't think so.
You weren't carrying their bags or whatever. You just stored them in the coffin.
Yeah, in my mind, they were like in a bag next to the coffin or in it next to the body or something like that.
That's fine. They still have all of their items then. I would assume that Raj's Tulwar, being slightly too large, would be like laid next to it.
Right.
Other than that, then their packs with the general stuff would be just like in the coffins, maybe along next to their legs or something like that. either way, you need to pick an item each.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna just start backing up then, since it looks like they're not gonna budge on this issue. And say,
right.
go on and figure out what items would be best used.
So, Chancellor, I'm not actually sure what we're talking about, but I hear you wanted to see me.
The Chancellor kind of give me an insight check. All right, never mind. Never mind. She looks real fucking happy to see you.
Of course she does.
She in her plain face, you maybe see like the twitch of a smile. She's super happy to see you.
I'm glad we've made this connection.
The first piece of emotion that she shows.
So, first things first, to business, right? Well, let's see. May I approach the body? I assume I have to.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's see, Carlias.
I'm just rifling through his things just to look through what he has. I'm not even looking for his item. I know what it is, I think, but I'm just...
Ooh. Oh, really? Ooh, I didn't know he was into that. Ooh, exciting. Okay. Oh, sorry. Here, his hat.
I'm just going to pull out of, like, the backpack. Here, it's just his hat.
Fela, do you think that the item of Raja's hat is important enough to Raja to draw him back to the material plane?
I don't think he would care about his hat even remotely.
Wait,
okay.
Carlias' hat or Raja's hat?
Carlias.
Oh, you didn't Carlias' hat, sorry.
I thought you said Raja. Yeah,
Yeah,
I probably did.
Carlias' hat, on the other hand.
Carlias? Same thing, Connor. Would you assume Carlias' hat is important enough to him to draw him back?
Oh, he'd kill someone if they ever touch his hat, so it's important.
I do try it on before I give it to her.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, she says, it has to be something very powerful, something that they truly covet.
So, Chancellor, with this hat on, do I look like a bad boy?
Give me another insight check.
Oh my
Please crit fail again.
She's unable to hide her disgust.
Well, I mean, to each their own. I don't fancy it much either, I guess. Here's the hat.
She takes the hat and places it on top of the coffin and says, okay. And the other, the human?
Let's see.
Rifling through his things, being a nosy asshole.
Half price coupon for a train ride, a flask of adult water, his bullseye lantern, a bag of chassis trunks, ecstasy stuff, a pair of golden chalices, the silver chalice, which I believe has his face on the front, 3 flasks of oil, a 2-headed coin, and a deck of playing cards. And then, of course, all of his, and then his Tolwar revolver and a black jagged dagger that looks like it is not forged by a human.
Well, let's see. He was quite the chazzy fiend. I think it... Well, how about the coin? I like the coin. Here, take this. Let's see if this works.
The 2-headed coin? You think the 2-headed coin is strong enough to draw a soul back from the astral plane to the material plane and bind it?
Yes.
For Raja?
Yes, that coin? Yes.
Why?
It's his only remaining keepsake from his hometown from his dad.
Cool. You hand the coin over?
Yeah.
She takes it and looks at it and places it and says, well, I hope your choices are right, and these are strong enough material possessions for these souls to find their way back to us. And she turns and says, well, that is everything. I will begin casting the spell. It shouldn't take too long, but it will take a short while. And she sort of nods at Morgan, who walks up next to you, Arden, and says, time to leave.
Well, I mean, we just seen each other. I've woken up. I could get you coffee. I could assist.
Places like a hand on your shoulder, Bane style, backwards, palm up.
While they're having that conversation, can I? But just by sizing up the, I guess, body language and general demeanor of the way that they're standing, looking at Frelk and Tolgar, can I determine a pecking order here, like who's in charge?
I think you could probably work that out anyway. Morgan is definitely in charge, and Frelk and Tolgar seem to be about the same level.
Okay.
Can I sneak away real quick to go
In
find a
real life?
window?
Oh, yeah. I think you're free to like wander around the outside.
I didn't know if they were like locking us.
This
in
is like a
place.
public
Okay.
temple and library, and while it's open, there probably is a couple of people wandering around, townsfolk who are very clearly wandering around, and there's various like statues and shrines and things that are around. So you'll find like a dwarf somewhere, like there's probably a big stocky looking old man dwarf standing near a very small shrine built to Gond, and he's just muttering things in Dwarven to himself. A couple of old women walking around talking about times past and looking at various books. But in general, it's very quiet and empty. But it's like public property apart from this area with the tree.
I guess roll like a general perception check as I walk around for the sake of brevity.
Yeah, I'd say you could probably be wandering around for this entire thing.
There you go. Nope. Fuck.
Yeah, again, you have to roll pretty high anyway, because the only real entrance ways, without like smashing a window, like you very easily smash a window and get somebody in here if you needed to from the ground floor, because they're small, but they're stained glass windows on the ground floor. There is no back entrance. There's no like windows that open on the ground as you're wandering around at all. So you'll probably definitely be able to work that out by the time Morgan is trying to usher Arden out.
I'm gonna ask Tolgar, how many times have you seen this resurrection ritual?
Give me a persuasion check. It's fucking ridiculous.
This character.
He says,
"This is what I do."
Tolgar not work for Chancellor too long, but I think we see the little one, the big one. 4, 5 times.
5 times.
But he holds up 9.
What about you? Anyone you know been resurrected?
He looks back at Morgan, who is like starting to drag at Arden, and says,
Morgan die before I work for Chancellor. She bring him back. It work. You should look at his neck.
Is that why he works for her now?
Oh, he work for her. Same reason. Frelk work for her. The pay, huh?
Good money, huh?
Good money. Tolgar get paid a little less.
Why does Tolgar get paid less?
Tolgar young. Tolgar not earn. Tolgar not save Chancellor's life yet. Tolgar wish to save Chancellor's life.
Oh, did Morgan save her life?
Many people try to kill Chancellor. That is why greatest warriors in land, champions, are sent to defend Chancellor.
Really?
But between you and me,
and Morgan turns around and says,
Tolgar, silence! Sorry, Tolgar let his mouth run sometime.
I'm just like lowering my voice a little bit and saying, she seems so nice. I wonder why so many people would be after her.
Frelk shoots a look over at Tolgar, and Tolgar stands to attention. Morgan starts to drag Arden a little bit. By the way, Tolgar defend himself from that persuasion.
Do I decisions? I don't know if I want to burn one of my spell slots on detect thoughts on this guy. I'm gonna do it. As he starts doing the between you and me thing, and then he gets interrupted, I'm just like detect. I'm gonna peer into his mind, and the wording of the spell, he doesn't know it at first. It's only if I start probing for deeper stuff that they feel it, as far as I'm aware. And you cast the spell on your action.
Yeah,
on
but
each
what
of the
about the hand Hudama, what's it?
The what?
The verbal and the somatic parts of it.
Unfortunately, yeah, it is a
visual, or-
VSM spell, which means
Okay.
you're literally going bap, 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 brrrr,
Right.
and also using your arcane
Still
focus
not-
or whatever it is. The
Gotcha.
warlock.
Gotcha. So I'd end up having to draw a bunch of attention to myself.
You could like wander off and do it, but if you just stand there in front of them and go "Hoodagaba," they're gonna probably see you. Yeah. They're all like facing your direction. Well, Frelk, Tolgar, and the Chancellor are kind of facing your direction as well. Morgan is like, come.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it. It would draw too much attention.
Okay. Yeah, the sorcerers have a cool thing for that, the subtle spell, right? That's
Yeah.
what that does.
I
Do you-
haven't taken it though. I
Okay.
have twinned and quicken, so.
I just remember that subtle spell thing, and that's like another one of those things that in very specific situations you're like, oh my god, I'm so glad I took this.
Yeah.
It seems like a bit of a random one for just combat and shit.
Yeah.
But like breaking
Yeah, if I could like quietly do it right now, I 100% I would cast it so I could see what the heck is going on. But
Morgan starts literally strong arming you a little bit, Arden, to like grabs you by like the elbow and starts to drag you a little bit. He's very strong. His grip is like a vice.
Oh, well, okay. Well, well, so are we going to see a sister now?
Pushes you out the door.
I'll talk to you later. I'll bring fruitcake. Everybody knows
Chancellor takes the items and starts to set about them, but turns around and heads back out towards the area where Morgan is like pushing Arden out and says, she sort of addresses you as a 3. Behind the Chancellor and upwards, a little shadow creaks open a window and a little beak appears through the thing. I would say around now you are actually able to like see in, so you can see down into this area, this you're about 60 feet up above the tree, and the tree is like relatively large but not like huge. I'd say it's probably about halfway up to where you are, so there's just like a canopy of like this white tree that's just sort of randomly in the middle of a building, and you can see down into the into this central part, basically like this bit here, there, that kind of thing. You're at the top bit, 60 feet up, if this thing tapers upwards kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And you can see down into that area. So you can see the Chancellor moving out and the 2 bodies. The Chancellor walks and addresses the rest of you group. She says, as an Archpriest, of course, I am willing to help with your friends, but as a Chancellor, I must ask that you do something for me in return. Your friend in there is a Sandwalker, yes?
Correct.
If he should return, I would ask that perhaps I could hire you, or more specifically him.
Sure. Basilius doesn't care what Russia does. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, she's addressing Arden and Walter as well. I don't know what you guys are doing, if you're even looking at her. Is Walter even there, or are you wandering around, Jay?
I'd say I'm probably back by now.
She says, there is a small town about a day's travel east of here known as Zaferi. And by all reports, it seems to have gone missing. And we've sent 2 Sandwalkers out there over the course of the last week, and both have yet to return. I fear there's something troubling afoot. Of course, Zaferi itself is none of my concern, but if whatever is causing such mischief out there should end up on my doorstep, I would like to know about it. And you seem a capable bunch after dealing with whatever it was up in the mountain. I ask only that you bring me information, and in return, as well as obviously returning your comrades, I would be willing to offer you a portion of gold.
How much?
Well, we gave the other sandwalkers 250 gold pieces each. I would say that that is fair.
Certainly. Vasilius is just kind of answering. If Arden or Walter aren't saying anything, Vasilius is just is answering for them. Oh yes, absolutely. Then
Arden assumes Raja would just take it because Raja does epic quests. That's what he does.
I would just follow Raja in whatever he does, so it doesn't matter.
She says, of course the Sandwalker will be a little weak when he awakens, so you may need to give him a short rest, but Zafari is about a day's march east, directly east of here, and it sits at a railroad crossings. Notably, they have a large wooden tower at the center of town. The children use it to watch the trains when they pass, though the train does not stop there. If you could find some information on what happened for the townsfolk, yes, that would be very useful to me. And if you could find out what happened to those sandwalkers, I'll give you an extra piece of gold.
Literally one.
Literally one.
You have a deal.
She says, okay, well, feel free to use the library as you see fit for now, or wait here. Please do not disturb the ritual.
Of course.
She turns around and heads in. She steps into this area. And closes her door.
Oh, there's a door there?
There is. She brings a door across.
She literally just carries a door and plants it there.
Carries a door across. No, there's like a door that she can bring closed in the area. Yeah. Hey, here we go. I can simulate a door for you, I think.
So, Vasilius, you had a little time with the Chancellor. You think she likes me? She smiled at me earlier.
She's hopelessly in love. Vasilius just walks away.
That poor girl. I just can't turn off the charm, Walter.
I'm just talking to anybody that will listen.
I'm looking up at where Lash is now because Cran's up there, and I have like the shared sense, so I know where they are.
Yeah, if you look at the right time, you'll see my mirror on a little stick, like kind of pointing in. Because occasionally I'm taking peeks.
Why does this just never?
You're doing it on the map, not on the GM overlay.
It keeps doing this to me. Does it ever do it to you?
No.
Where it moves it?
No.
My dynamic lighting always sucks like this. I do whole dungeons,
and then it
goes. Yeah, it bugs out and puts me on the GM layer, even though I'm 100% on the thing. Oh well.
I'm probably Walter. So, how long have you been with Raja?
Who is he talking to?
Arden. Oh, sorry, I said Walter. Fuck.
I'm
tired.
You're talking to yourself again.
I didn't sleep all night.
Yes. Do you need some sleep right now?
Well, no, it's fine. We just have to get Raja back.
Okay.
How long have you been with Raja? What's been going on?
Well, it's been a little while. Oh yes, we haven't actually met each other yet. Hello. My name is Arden.
What?
And I will tell you about the wonderful tale. So,
okay.
First of all, I was having tea with Titan. I don't know if you know Titan, but he is a wonderful god. He doesn't put his pinky up when we drink, but that's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just gonna start trailing off into just shit that has nothing to do with Raja.
Uh-huh.
While they're in the middle of their long exposition, I'm gonna message Lash, and she'll just hear Vasilius's voice in her head. By the way, have I ever mentioned how ridiculously handy this constant telepathy for free thing is? I'm gonna.
Well,
I want to keep it forever.
You're not supposed to reply with Awakened Mind, but we've kind of already like homebrewed the message spell to be like that already. So, but in like standard D&D, it's less broken, but it's still fucking insane. The fact you can do it to anybody that you see is crazy.
And you don't have to speak their language either.
Yeah,
that's the best part.
That's insane.
He's gonna contact Lash and say, the ritual has begun. They're not going to let us anywhere near while she does it, which just further makes me suspicious that she's hiding something.
So you just see me tighten my back against the wall and then once again stick the mirror in and see if I can see anything and just be kind of listening.
Oh, you can see some shit.
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Cran,
Can I hear as well?
Cran on your shoulder, allowing for some eyes to be seen.
I'm just watching straight down through. I was about to ask if they have clear view from up there, or if Cran needs to fly down a little bit and watch from above.
You can see the bodies relatively well. The Chancellor probably moves under and out from the bodies a little bit, or from under the tree canopy a little bit. But generally, you can see the outer sides of this room where the coffins are placed right now. The Chancellor moves over to the rear of the room, and begins summoning something. She starts to speak underneath her breath in Elven. Either of you speak Elven?
Ooh, I don't think I do.
Vasilius is actually no. Well, not yet. Vasilius is over here doing the. He's over here doing the comprehend language ritual just because of the book that he couldn't read being under the tree. He's now getting ready for that just because.
Wait, can you see through Karen's eyes and hear through his ears, or just see through his eyes?
Both.
You can? Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah, Vasilius, not yet. As of walking away over here, he's doing the comprehend language ritual because he saw the book written in a language that he couldn't read, and now he's curious, so he's just getting that ready. Especially because it's a free spell and doesn't require concentration, so why not cast it?
Yeah.
Oh, does Cran know any extra languages? There's a question. Let me see. Cran. Infernal and common only.
Boop. Yeah, I think I just have Thieves' Cant, Common, and I don't even know if Kenku have their own
She's
language.
speaking Elvish Thieves' Cant.
She's speaking
Bunch of hand signals and small anagrams.
No.
That's right.
What is Cran? Infernal and your common.
Yeah, infernal.
Yeah, she's speaking in Elvish, so you don't understand everything that she's saying. Give me perception checks, both of you.
So many character sheets. I have Cran and Vasilius and Raja all open. Move.
Yeah, hey, I've got 3 now.
During the just the ramblings of Elven that you hear, that you don't understand what she's saying, as she begins to draw forth something, you see her moving her hands about, and then a sort of spectral face appears kind of out of the marble of the ground. It's not like a ghost appearing up through the floor, but more like a face is formed up and the marble is pushed up, and it's sort of just resembles a vaguely human face. You hear the name Solomon during the Elven speaking. And then she proceeds to have like a pretty full conversation in Elven with the marble face, which speaks back in a sort of a crunchy grinding, almost as if the stone of the marble is mixed in with a very deep sounding male human voice. But again, speaking Elven, or it could be an elf, I don't know, it's just a fucking face with a male voice. The two of them just have like a relatively full conversation before she stands up and nods and does kind of like a small bow, and the face kind of disappears back into the marble. She turns around and heads over to the first coffin containing Raja and takes the blood from the chalice, pouring it over his body inside the coffin, places the cup down, heads over to the body of Carlias and brings up the blood and pours it over his body, and then she stands underneath a tree between the two of them, and sort of bows her head. It'd probably be very difficult to make out what she's doing, but you'll be able to hear her again, continuing to incant in Elvish. The sense that you would probably get in the room is of like a deep arcane feeling now starting to build. There's like a sort of a vacuous feeling, something like a building sensation in the room that you would definitely notice. The sounds from outside would probably even start to drown out from you as you're drawn into this kind of area, and you can you really easily hone in on what the Chancellor is saying. You wanted to do something?
I'm gonna just poke Cran, because Cran is like, a demon who's often summoned from another plane, and just ask him, do you recognize any of this ritual that she's performing?
Cran. What is Cran's int?
Cran's
intelligence. Does he have like an Arcana bonus or anything?
Let me double check. He has an intelligence of 11, and then insight is +3. He doesn't have any bonus to Arcana, I don't think.
All right, give me an int roll for Cran.
Rip.
Cran, relatively honestly, speaks back and says, "Hey, for once, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. I've never seen this. I'm more in the business of bringing you suckers over to my side than sending you back. You understand?" It was an interesting little trick that she did there, though. Pretty fucking freaky, you ask me.
The face on the floor?
Yeah.
You heard the name Solomon.
Who's that? Friend of yours?
No, I was going to ask you.
Thank you. I wish he was.
Would Vasilius, with his experience in the underworld here, have ever heard the name before?
I would say no. I don't think you mix in Solomon circles.
Right.
You've got a lot of contacts in the like underworld, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't think you're that good.
Gotcha.
The Chancellor continues to incant the room again, sort of starting to draw in. There's a sense of deep magic, and the tree itself, which is white, it doesn't really give off any light or anything like that, almost turns a little gray. It doesn't. The leaves they stop being like a perfect pure Arctic white and sort of take on a more gray hue, almost as if the room is a little desaturated now. But the blood that sits over the bodies of the two dead begins to like boil and bubble, and then it begins to cover them completely until their entire bodies, including clothes, are just covered in this constant moving blood. She continues to incant. The pouch of dust that she has, she just discards. She just throws it to the ground, irrelevant, in a sort of irrelevant way. And she moves over to Raj's body. Yeah.
I don't know how long her conversation with the face in the floor lasted, and then going into this ritual, how long it's all lasting, but
probably about a minute or two. Probably about 2 minutes has passed now. It would have been about a minute for the conversation, and then she.
Oh, so it's all been pretty short then. Okay, never mind. I was gonna see if my language ritual is done yet, but I think she's moving quicker.
Yeah, well, she's not really casting a ritual. She's casting an actual spell, which is a little quicker. At least that's, yeah. She moves over to the area where Raja is, and she picks up the coin. She holds it up. Give me another perception check each. Yeah, two of you can easily see that her eyes are completely red, like a blood red color that matches the blood on the bodies like perfectly. As she holds it up, you see it glint off of the light. She has this like red eye, two red eyes. She takes the coin and holds it up, and then the coin begins to like float upwards. It floats all the way up to where you guys are. Lash, give me another stealth check.
Oh, good God.
You realize this thing is floating upwards, and you duck out a little ways. The coin that you notice floats all the way up past where you are, past your window. What do you want to do? Is there anything you do in particular?
No, I've just tried to stay out of sight. And if I don't even think I would use the mirror at this point. I'd be too worried in case she's looking up.
Yeah. Do you have Cran remain in the room, or
Cran at this point is like sitting on Lash's shoulder, so when she leans back, he's gonna lean back too.
Yeah. So you both see the coin float past. Are you dipping your heads back in at any point?
I would think no. My instinct would be, since she's floating the object up, she may cast a glance up there. No, I'm not gonna chance it.
I'll have Cran will poke just his head back over and just bank on the fact that she can't automatically see invisible things and hope she doesn't have true sight.
Yeah. All right. Whatever you say, bruv. Yeah. As Cran begins to poke his head in, he'll notice a hat floating upwards as well. The Chancellor has moved across the room and has basically done the same thing with Carlias's hat as it starts to move upwards and float up towards you. Yeah, she's looking like straight at Cran. For a moment, and then sort of blindly looks away as if she hasn't seen him. She goes back to her position at the sort of center of the tree and continues to incant. The items, when Cran looks up, have gone completely. The tower tapers off to like a point. There's nothing up there. There's no bell where this used to be a bell tower, and it does sort of sit like one, but there is just nothing. The whole thing has been removed, and it's just a very plain tower with a few of these similar windows that you're sort of hanging in. There's nothing up there at all. She continues to incant for a little while before you notice the blood that covers each of the bodies is drained away, as if it's pulled off of the bodies, and they're completely clean underneath, no blood underneath it, and drained back behind them. And the center of their chests each begin to glow very brightly. There's that desaturation that sort of happened to the room returns. The tree becomes white again. The walls take on a little more color. The Chancellor herself begins to sort of sing as opposed to incant. It's like a light singing. As the light of Raj's chest and Carlias' chest begins to glow, Cran, I presume Lash, you're still not looking inside, so Cran would see that they just become light itself before each of them sputters and coughs and returns. Carlias, you would straight up be coughing up sand.
What tarnation?
Raja, you're all right. You would feel cold. You would feel kind of beaten up. But in terms of how you both physically look, you're returned to realistically how you looked before. There's none of these like burns, the necrotic burns that you got from the spectator, and Carlias was just kind of a bit broken up, but generally just choked on sand, and that's how he died. You cough up a little sand onto your chest, and both of you kind of awaken in this room with just this complete stranger in the center of the room who, with her eyes closed, stops singing, which is probably the first thing you hear. The two of you are in a coffin on a sort of stone bed. There is a tree in the room. Both of you are looking up, actually. Oh no, Lash's point isn't in the window, and neither of you can see Cran. Never mind, that would have been fun. Speak. Both of you awaken in a coffin, but you can very clearly see this tree, this very basic looking stone room with very nicely marbled floor and a very obvious Arctic tree with white leaves in the center. A singing sort of echo is ended, and there's a relatively plain looking half elf with sort of a half shaved head, long dark hair, and she stops singing and turns to each of you and says, It seems it worked. Welcome back to the mortal coil.
See what work? What the hell? Where the hell are we?
Where are we?
You both lost to us, and you have returned to us. Your comrades await for you, though I would suggest that you do not try and do anything too strenuous just yet. And she sort of walks over to Raja and says, if you don't mind, I'll take your hand. And she holds your hand and takes a moment. Yes, warmth. Good. Are you feeling okay?
I feel like I got hit by a train and drank poison and laid in one place for a week straight without moving. Oh.
You each have 1 HP. You each have 1 point of exhaustion, but that's it. You don't suffer the usual -4 penalties that you get for a lot of the resurrection spells. You just both have 1 HP, 1 point of exhaustion. Pretty much everything that you had in life at the time of death is still on you. I don't think these guys took anything from you or anything, and they generally kept your packs and stuff like that. So all of your stuff remains the same. But you definitely feel like shit. You legitimately are death warmed up. She walks over towards you, Carlias, and says, if you don't mind, I'll take your hand. And she grabs you by your dwarven hand. Yes, warm. Good. How are you feeling?
I feel like I need to go to the bathroom and let out a... Anyway, that's not important.
Of course. I will have...
She can hear Rasha casting a spell already.
Really? Yeah, okay. She sort of spins on you.
I'm casting Healing Spirit.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. I forgot. Raja's back, everyone. I don't know what he's doing.
Here's some bullshit.
The very first thing he does, I have no idea what it is.
First thing Raja does, screw the rules.
This is a level 5 thing.
Yes, he gained it upon leveling up to level 5. Call forth the nature spirit to soothe the wounded. Intangible spirit appears in a cube, or in a 5-foot cube, and whenever you begin a turn or pass through it, you gain 1d6 hit points. So he's conjuring this spirit, and if she looks over to see what he's doing, he's actually gone back prone, and he's just laying in the coffin, and just the I was gonna say the spirit of an elk, but he might not have ever even seen one because we're in the desert. So
yeah,
I don't know what I don't know what a common the little cactus things that we got the drugs from in the very beginning of the campaign. There's just this desert cactus spirit appears in the coffin with him. And he's just kind of soaking in it, restoring HP.
It's literally a chazzy cactus that looks exactly like a cactar. So that's what they're called. Yeah, basically a cactar appears, and the Chancellor spins and sees you casting this spell, and it appears, and she just nods and, well, I'll have rooms arranged for you at an inn. I'll arrange it with your friends, and welcome back. And she turns and opens the door.
Sorry, you are?
Pardon my rudeness. I'm a little tired, you see. My name is Chancellor Vossler, and I'm also the Archpriest here in Shallow Scar. Your friends brought you here to me to be resurrected, as they feel your work here is not quite done.
Ah, well, that sure was nice of them. Hey, who that, Carlias? You get off the hook for leaving me for dead in the Colosseum.
What? I told you it was a death wish in there.
Yeah, it was only a death wish because you left.
Yeah, well, you didn't see what I did afterwards, so it's fine.
Wait, if you're in here, that means.
I,
Hold on. How did you get killed?
Good question, actually. All I remember was sand, darkness, and well, that explains.
Sand. I promise it wasn't me.
No, I'm gonna bet it was either Arden or Strings.
The door opens. The two of you are probably just about to see the doorway, and you'll see these three huge armored Goliaths suddenly turn. One of them steps in.
It is done then.
Raja's just like reaching for the sword, like three heavily armored dudes walking in.
The Chancellor stays you. It's okay. They are my personal guard.
Whoa, wait, hold on.
What?
Where the hell's my hat?
The Chancellor says, I'm afraid your hat is gone. What
do you mean gone?
In order to...
If you know where my hat is, you better give me my hat right now.
Unfortunately, I cannot do that. In order to bring you back, we had to use an item that you covered to draw you and bind you to the mortal plane. And
why didn't you just take one of my balls or something?
I'm afraid your friend, the cleric Arden, chose the hat, and for
God
you...
damn it, Arden, I told him. Nobody touches the hat.
She says, for you,
anymore.
Hold on.
A coin was chosen.
Is it intact?
Yes. And, well, the intricacies of the spell I will explain to you, or perhaps your comrades will, but I think for now you really should take some time to rest. And she nods at Morgan.
Time to get a new hat or something.
She nods at Morgan.
No, not even a new hat. I want my hat back.
Just let in their comrades. Morgan says,
Okay, you get to go in for 2 minutes. You take your friend, you leave.
And she says, please, Morgan, just let them have a moment with their comrades here. And they part the way and invite Walter, Arden, Vasilius in.
Yeah, Vasilius is the first one. He's probably the most anxious to get in there, and just beelines it to Carlias.
Hey, you're a happy face to see. What happened? Wait, who killed me? Who was it? Who tried to kill me?
The sand creature in the Underdark, remember? The giant?
No, my memory's a bit fuzzy.
When we left Sin River, we went through the Underdark, and a large creature made of sand absorbed you and crushed you inside it. I carried your body here and had you brought back.
Right. Huh. You know, I'm pretty sure I felt like a powerful blast hit me or something. Like the wind was knocked out and sand was knocked in, kind of thing.
You were inside of a sand creature, and it was repeatedly smashing you with its fists. I'm sure you felt a lot of impacts.
Fair enough. Well, how long did it take to get me back? How long have I been out for? Hold on.
It's been 3 days. 4 days.
4 days, I think.
4 days.
Not that long.
It took us a day to get back out of the Underdark. It took us a day to travel here. Then we spent the night here. So today is day number 4.
Huh. Well, I mean, if there was one more day, I'd say there would probably be a brown mess underneath me right now. My intestines can hold things in. But after 5 days, it all flows out.
You know, I've never personally tried to hold it that long.
When you're a dwarf, you gotta. So, yeah, I need the bathroom. I'm just gonna jump out and run.
Sure, yeah. You're... give me an acrobatics check with disadvantage. Nice, yeah, you're good.
Nothing will stop him.
You wobble around a lot, but you're able to.
Oh, all right. I guess I really need to go.
Yeah, it's more just that you haven't used your legs in a while.
I think your body is stiff from not moving.
Well, maybe if I go to a certain establishment, I can get it to move a bit more.
Okay, so Vasilius is like ignoring Raja. Did Walter and Arden come in?
Yeah, I'm probably leaning against the wall, just kind of looking over at Raja.
Yeah,
running up to Carlisle's hug, and then, oh, okay, Stinky. We'll see you in a moment.
Yeah, I'll say hello in a moment.
Vasilius is following Carlias out, and as he's walking out, he just kind of glances back at Raja and is like, "You work for her now." As he leaves. He just goes back to laying down in he goes back to laying down in the coffin to soak up some more of the healing spirit, but then he like sits back up and he sees Walter and he's like, "Hey, I thought you died in the desert."
Hey, bud.
He motions for like an exhausted high five. But he's not moving from the coffin.
I'm gonna come up to the coffin and like give a light hug and a high five. And
you're a sight for sore eyes, man.
Where'd you go off to?
Hold on, I'm gonna go back into the healing spirit and get some more of this back.
Yeah. What happened? You left. You were gone.
I don't. Okay, so it's a long story. The thing that attacked us in the desert.
Yeah.
I've been tracking it for a long time.
Okay.
It unfortunately jumped us when I didn't have my holy water or, well, anything really to combat it. But I remember it took me somewhere, but then I woke up here. I don't remember anything.
Right. Hey, if you die again and you come back in, tell me of any other murderous spirits that are gonna jump on my ass. Yeah? I'm gonna punch him in the fucking shoulder. I woke up almost buried in sand. Thanks.
Listen, I haven't. Okay, I tracked that thing literally for years, but I gave up because there were no signs of it and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I was not expecting it to come after us in the desert. It just came back. Maybe
that's someone that takes out towns, yeah?
Yeah,
well,
that one.
She knows something about that. There's a town to the east that got pretty messed up. So,
how does Walter know that?
She said it right in front of all three of us.
Oh, did she
say
it in front
I
of them?
have this job for all three of you. You answered as Vasilius for me.
Yeah, no, I thought she. That's right. She came out. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I thought so too, and I was like, "Wait, did I fuck up?" But yeah, no.
The Zafari mission, you all know.
Yeah.
I think it was probably just between Vasilius and her, but yeah.
Would I have heard of? Would Raja have heard of Zafari?
Well, Zafari is
Zafari.
Zafari, yeah, I think I said Zafari, but I think honestly I've written Zafari and Zafari. I think it's an E. Zafari. Here's where we'll know it's on the map.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is now. Yeah, it's Zafari.
Oh,
here. So I don't know if Raja's travels ever took him to here.
He's definitely passed by that because he's been to Yellow Rock, so he definitely would have passed through there. But I don't know if the town was already gone.
Well, she said recently, right? So
yeah,
that's kind of the way I came from. So
I guess it depends how recent.
Yeah.
If you travel by train, you actually might have seen this. If you came from Crimson City and went to Windy Peaks, or went from Lost Stone to Windy Peaks, and then, or one of those things. Then you travel sort of through Zafari. It's like a little slum village, way out in the desert. They have like little shit shacks, and there's like this weird like constructed, like almost like a tree house, like a desert-based tree house that is up in the center of town. It's very small, but the train does pass through it, and it's one of the only things to look at as you go through it. So if you have been on the train, you will have seen it. Not very large at all. It's just a tiny little village, home to a couple of people, like really like only a handful of families. So yeah, it's if you traveled, Raja, by foot to Yellow Rock from, say, Shallow Scar, then yeah, you would have been there. But I would assume that you got on a train to Lost Stone and then traveled out to Yellow Rock.
I believe he went from starting at Crimson City by train and would have gone to this intersection and then up to Lost Stone, and then from Lost Stone on foot to Yellow Rock.
Then yeah, You probably would have seen it. I don't know if you'd know it by name, but a brief description would be very easy to recognize.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of these little towns. These little, like, Zafari, Yellow Rock. There's a lot of them out there. They're not all mapped on here because they're irrelevant. But there's quite a few of them that are out there. They're usually home. It's where Raja is from. These tiny little settlements that just spread out. They're not really part of...
Yeah, you can see his right there.
Yeah. All the way down.
Oh, that one?
Yeah, that one. That is Raja's home. So basically, yeah, of all of them, it's a relatively recognizable one because it does have this little tower and it's at crossroads for the trains, which is pretty rare.
I guess the real question isn't whether he knows where the town is, because he probably does. The question is whether he knows it's vanished off the face of the earth or has seen it since then, because he's made a point of tracking all the towns that have been swallowed by this wraith. That's been his like sole obsession for the past couple of years.
Yeah,
but if it just happened, then he wouldn't.
Yeah, it vanished roughly a week ago, or somewhere between recently.
Yeah. So she.
Then he has no idea.
She knows, but hey, remember when I went to Dead Rice after I left you guys?
Yeah.
So yeah, they found out about and they kicked me out. So
that's funny. I would think they'd welcome you with open arms. You'd fit right in.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. It was weird, but something about a mass murdering spree while I was possessed. Something like that.
Yeah, I did notice when the snakes attacked us in the desert, by reflex, I had control of your arm. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it's happened a couple times. But I don't know. Anyways, well, we can talk about another.
Maybe you should be a little bit more selective with who you let stay in your flesh hotel.
I can't really choose.
Wait. Hold on. And at this point, now that he's had a second to come to his senses, Raja's going to remember that when we were running along the train tracks and I used my primeval awareness, like basically Raja's undead sense, he definitely picked up some undeads. So he's sitting up and he's just going to immediately do that. Hold on. There was something here. And I'm going to use my undead detecting device.
Yes.
Which is not really a device. Tune your senses, determine if your favorite enemies are nearby. Spending a minute in concentration. Sense whether any favorite enemies are within 5 miles. Reveals which of your favorite enemies are present, their numbers, their general direction, and distance.
Yeah. You did this out in the sand, so I think it pings back the same thing. I think you probably get the sense of one undead in the mountains where Lash's home is. You get the sense of two relatively nearby. How much can you pinpoint this? Or is it just sonar?
Well, it's exactly what I just read. It says you can sense whether any of your favorite enemies are present within 2 miles. It reveals which of your favorite enemies are present, so like what they are, their numbers, and their general direction and distance.
Okay, yeah. So you can sense like 3 west of you, 2 much closer, 1 further. Basically, 1 is the Banshee in the mountains. 2 somewhere around the train station area in town, like relatively close but not too far away. None in the room. I feel like 5 miles is really wide, so you probably ping off a couple of weird things way out in the desert.
And you said 3 off to the west, like out in the desert? Or
no,
in the mountains?
the 3 prominent close ones. The one in the mountain, which metagame is the Banshee.
Right.
No shadow demons. And 2 undeads in the train station area of town.
Can I tell what type of undead?
I don't know if there is a type of undead. It's an undead, just an undead.
Well, it says, reveals which of your favorite enemies are present, so which undead?
Well, it isn't. Wait. I don't think I understand.
Can you post a spell in chat? You can do that, right, with that one? If you just click on
it's not a spell, it's a class feature, but I can post it.
Okay.
Well, the wording is just weird, like which of your...
It says it reveals which of your favorite enemies are present, so I'm guessing I could tell if it's a Banshee, a Vampire, or whatever the heck.
Oh, so like nearby. General Fiend. Oh, because it's sense evil,
well,
right?
a fiend is an...
No, a fiend is not undead.
No?
This
an
only...
undead.
I only sense undeads, not fiends.
your favorite enemy is an undead.
Correct.
Right.
So
I just don't understand if there's anything. The subclass that would be like humanoid, right?
What's it called?
I don't think it's a subclass. I think it would just be like the type of monster. If it's like a zombie, skeleton, a lich, banshee, vampire, ghost. I'm sure it falls under. It must fall under one of these categories.
Like, what kind of undead creature is it?
Yeah.
Not just an undead, but like.
Oh, it tells you the creature.
Is it walking bones or is it a zombie flesh? Maniac?
Yeah, I'll just post the whole paragraph in chat for you.
Is it a spell?
Here.
No, it's his class
it is
feature,
right.
He said.
Where is it on your character sheet? Is what I mean.
He detects the undead bird in the rafters. My God, she was dead the whole time.
If you're looking at my
banshee
character
just
sheet,
dead.
it is on. Wait, I don't think I even have it on there because it was such a. It's like a really long paragraph, so I didn't want to place the whole thing. I'll add it in the allies and organizations section. There it is. That's the whole paragraph. The spacing's all messed up because it's from a PDF.
Yeah, it does that.
What the heck? It just vanished? Did you do that?
Nope.
What the heck? Here, post it again. There
Roll
it is.
20.
Roll 20. Just because. All right, you can attune your senses to determine if any of your favored enemies lurk nearby. By spending 1 interrupted minute in concentrations, if you are concentrating on a spell, you can sense whether any of your favored enemies are present within. It's gone. Hang on.
Wait, what?
5 miles of you. The feature reveals which of your favorite enemies are present, their numbers, and the creature's general
Location or direction and distance.
What does it mean by which of your?
Yeah,
What is it
that's the
called?
Because you
confusing
can
part.
have
What does
multiple.
witch mean?
You can have multiple favorite enemies eventually. as a
Yeah, but that's
ranger.
just a favorite enemy is a beast, a humanoid, an undead,
Yeah.
a fiend.
Right, but I only have undead, so it's
how-
telling me.
Yeah,
I'm
how
assuming
is there
it's
a
telling
sub thing under that?
I don't think
Which
there
one
is.
that
I think it's just telling me specifically what kind of undead it is, whether it's a ghost or a skeleton or a vampire or whatever.
That's what I want to check because that's fucking crazy broken. If it is
Well,
that,
that's Raja.
just a thing that you can go, bing, there's the creature because you've already got the beast eye thing.
Raja's back on his bullshit, boys. Back on his bullshit.
What is it called?
It's
The actual
primeval awareness. Here, I'll just link you the thing in. Here's the link. Boink.
While Brad's reading, I'll just point out that as soon as Vossler left the room, I would have slid the window shut pretty quietly and climbed down the outside, and I'll be waiting around the side there for when folks pop out the front. Because
I see you up there. No, I'm kidding. Not really.
Lash will be pretty excited.
So the whether any of your favorite enemies is because you get multiple favorite enemies. Which of your favorite enemies are present? Which would mean like
If you're picking,
it'd be so like if you have like beast and undead, you could ping and be like that one's an undead, that one's a
that
beast.
one's a beast.
Yeah.
Okay, it seems insane that you would be able to just ping and go, "That's the creature coming up," when we fight it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm just thinking of it like
no,
when you
it
pop up
doesn't
later on.
it doesn't
It-
say like you can tell if
Right
it's a
now,
zombie
I don't
or a
care
skeleton.
too much particularly. I know you guys meta know what's in the town, so I'm not afraid of telling you what it is fully. But I'm just thinking about for future when you go, we're about to walk into this dungeon.
Yeah, no.
Ping sonar. We got like 3 banshees. Let's just bring up the monster menu. We got 2
No.
shadow demons.
It doesn't tell you they're like sub race. It only tells you if he were to ping behind the boss door, it would say, okay, there's 3 undead and 1 beast in there. That's all it would say.
It just
wording in the
some of
spells.
these
I'm-
things seem too broken for a non. It's not
I
even a
am-
spell slot, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. I am 100% certain that, as written, it just means you tell me exactly what creature it is. As from a balance standpoint, that's
But it
kind
would
of
say
stupid.
creature.
From a balance well, it tells you tells you which one it is.
Yeah, so-
that's
so-
pretty direct.
Again,
so,
it's
but
because multiple. It's because of multiple.
from a
favorite
balance
enemies.
standpoint, well, let me finish my sentence.
Oh, sorry,
From a balance standpoint, I agree that is stupid, broken, and we should change it. As it's written, you should just be telling me it's 2 vampires. But don't. I mean, we can rework it to where he just can tell.
Oh,
No,
we can
I
just.
think
remove the bit where he can tell which one it is. It's just he can sense an undead, and that's it.
I didn't get that it was the vampires.
Yeah, it's the pair
I was
of
like,
vampires
oh,
that have
two
been-
skeletons work in the train
Good morning,
station.
Walter.
This has been a long week, okay?
Yeah, no, I think Jay's right, honestly.
Well, actually, hold on.
I mean, regardless, it's up to you.
How do we not have any PhDs in chat? There are always PhDs in chat when you don't need them.
Yeah, chat. Where are you at now when we actually have a question?
They suck with these fucking things all the time. They're just like, oh, you can't move 5 feet if you've got. No one cares about that. Okay, we need you for primeval
But
awareness.
when you actually need help,
Where's Bilbo?
where are
We need
those
Bilbo.
PhDs?
Bilbo, our rules lawyer for Ilios.
All right, hang on. So
Well,
primeval.
I'm saying screw the rules and nerf it because I agree that that's too broken. I'm just telling, like as it's
I'm
written,
like, yeah,
he just knows what it is.
I'm 99% sure I'm going to nerf it anyway, and we're going to take it as the best you can work out is whether there's an undead nearby, because it's just ridiculous. But I just want to be sure, because if it isn't that, and even sometimes we look at these things and there's a third option, and we're like, oh, it means that, and it's something that we've just not missed or whatever.
Hang on. I'm trying to see if I can find it because the Monster Slayer class was released in Xanathar's, but I don't have Xanathar's, so I'm looking to see if the wording was changed there, because that might provide. Because this is like, I've been using the Unearthed Arcana one because the class wasn't officially released, but since it just came out in Xanathar's, I'm looking to see if anyone's posted any info on it.
Yeah, I don't know. Even if it's in the Xanathars, it means we have to fucking rework your whole character, and it could fucking make you shit. And it's gonna be lame.
If I
don't mind taking this one as your thing, but
the way that a lot of the shit works with 5e, they've explicitly said, is that the specific overrides the general, and
but we're trying to work out the specific though.
yeah, but I feel like this is a little too general, so you can create the specific here yourself, Brad. Like, I mean, you are the DM, like you can just homebrew this shit if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna, but
Like, just
you know,
break
I
it
might
the
as well
fuck apart.
Wait a second. That's hold on.
We're at the end.
I'm wrong. This isn't even a Monster Slayer thing. This is the revised Ranger archetype, so it's not even a subclass thing. Yeah, never mind. There isn't going to be an update for it in Xanathar's.
Is this revised Ranger in the current PHB or no?
No.
It never was.
Okay,
So,
so this
like-
is Unearthed
so,
Arcana.
like-
So
Yeah, so
bullshit,
basically, like 5e comes out, and everyone voted Ranger unanimously being the worst class in the book and the most underpowered. So then, like 4 or 5 months later, they put out, here's a revised version of it that's been fixed to not suck. So that's the version I'm using, and I don't think it's been updated since then.
No, because it's mental. Yeah, I feel like Jay's right. I think what it is that you're able to have multiple favored enemies, so you're able to discern which one it is. Because otherwise, it would say which creature it is. It just says the creature's general direction, but that doesn't mean anything because everything's a creature. It doesn't mean that you get to know what the creature is. Feature reveals which of your favored enemies are present, their numbers, and the creature's general direction and distance. Where's this extra bit that you found?
Which extra bit?
Was there not another thing?
What extra bit?
Is that it? Am I just overthinking a thing? Feature reveals which of your favorite enemies are present, undeads, their numbers, 3, the creature's general direction, west, distance, mountain, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're right, and it is just supposed to reveal that they are undeads. I figure that's kind of a moot point because I only have one favorite enemy, so I already know they're undead. So that seems redundant.
But you could have 2.
Right, yeah. I will get another one later, so maybe they put that there as later on down the road. You'll get that kind of a thing.
Yeah, well, you get greater favored enemy, right, instead of 2.
Correct. Yeah.
But basically, a normal ranger gets 2 favored enemies. Yeah, I think Jay's definitely right in the first thing. Cool. Well, I would say you guys.
He detects 3 things, and
you detect 3 things. I I think you were trying to find the thing in the fucking room anyway, but
Yeah.
you don't sense anything directly nearby it. Lash disappears from the window sill and starts climbing down, and Morgan, Frelk, and Tolgar start telling you to leave the fucking
temple. Get out.
All right. Yep. All right. I'm going. I'm gonna gather up my stuff.
Before he leaves, I'm gonna grab him, and they don't know, and they shouldn't know. So don't tell them.
About you?
Yes.
Why in the world would I tell anyone about you?
I just-
I'm gonna smack him over the back of the head. You're my best kept secret. Let's get out of here. And then as I'm heading on the way out, I'm gonna stop and like look at the Chancellor and say, appreciate the assistance. The coin that was taken. What do I have to do to get it back?
There is nothing that you can do to have it back. I'm very sorry. As much as I understand that it was your personal possession, your friends bartered it to me for your life.
Bartered it to you? Okay, well, I will trade you everything else that I own for the coin.
Unless you are willing to trade me your life, and I'm afraid that the coin is now mine.
That coin represents the only thing I have left of my family, and pretty much everyone that I knew as a child. It benefits you nothing. It's just a coin. Why do you need it so badly?
It benefits me greatly. It is unfortunately something which your friends and I agreed would be used as an insurance to stop you from being able to harm me should you wish to. There's a man's heart can always be bought eventually, and I have many enemies, you must understand. And then she places a hand on your shoulder and says, your friends and family, wherever they are, they walk with you. You do not need material possessions. They're in your heart, in your memories.
It's a very convenient excuse for someone who refuses to relinquish my possessions. I'm going to brush her hand off and walk out.
Yeah. Everybody stepping out?
Yeah.
I'm already out.
Head into the inn. Everyone,
Yes,
Lash.
all my food.
Yep. So as soon as they come out the front door, I'll kind of fall in step, but still trying to be stealthy.
Yeah, I would say that like generally you guys start to discuss what's been going on, what's happened. You walk to the towards the inn. Lash sort of zipping back and forth behind you guys. When you arrive, there are 3 plates of food prepared as requested, and yeah, the gentleman that serves the food and stuff starts to hurriedly bring out more food for you all, not really questioning anything that the very strange LaFrances, are you the LaFrances right now, are asking for, because that's what he thinks you guys are.
Oh, who's he asking? Wait, where did Carlias and Vasilius go? Because I'm 2 people right now and I'm trying to keep track.
I'm in
You're all together.
Bathroom.
Okay, so everyone's in the inn. Okay.
I would have snuck in the room window in the back there just so I wouldn't be seen.
On the way back to the inn, Raja is questioning Arden. Where are Lash and Strings?
Well, Strings I haven't seen for like 2 days. I don't know why I haven't even thought about that. Lash was climbing around on the church while you were being resurrected. Last I saw, I'm don't.
Really not. I'm gonna see if I can spot through Lash's stealth. I'm gonna try and spot her. I'm gonna look around. I know she's sneaking. Lash, can you beat a 21?
I think her last one was an 18, wasn't it?
Yeah, give me a stealth. I prefer it. There's a moment.
I'm specifically looking for Lash, and I know she's nearby. Do I get advantage on the roll?
As like her hand is in your pocket or something.
Yeah.
Well, You sort of vaguely think you see Lash, and then you're not sure if it was a shadow or not. I feel like you equal parts attempted to. You were asking where Lash was, and then she was like, "I'm on an extra hide," and you were also looking for her while she was hiding. So you kind of see her, and then you don't, and then she's gone. So you know.
So Lash knows she's gonna
something.
freak out when she sees Raja, so I'm going directly to the room so I can freak out on him when in privacy.
he definitely looks at you for a split second as you're around the corner.
Pew!
I feel like not much has changed. Yeah, we'll go back to the end. Raja's not questioning Strings' disappearance just yet.
Cool.
We'll open that emotional trauma another time.
Another time. Yeah, I would say that you guys settle down and have some food and begin to rest. Each of you are now level 6.
Woohoo!
But
Oof.
as you all leave the church area and begin to head back and have your meals and sort of regain your footing on the material plane, if you've been dead for some time, the rest of us get to see Morgan, Frelk, and Tolgar stepping away from the area where the Chancellor is and begin to discuss some stupid giantish bullshit with each other as the Chancellor folds her arms and watches you all walk out. She sort of turns back to the area towards where the tree is, and we hear a voice, that same kind of stony, weird male voice, say in Elvish, "A Horcrux? What is that?" And she dismissively says back, "I made up a word. I didn't want to tell them that it was basically a phylactery." And the voice says, "Well, good work. They didn't work it all out, precisely. Though, I do believe somebody was watching us the whole time. Perhaps you should have that investigated. I can't have them finding out that I'm involved." And she nods and says, "Yes, my lord." And that is where we end the session.
Oh shit!
You guys, again, at level 6, but we'll do the leveling up stuff next time.
Yep.
When we come back, we'll just do a little bit at the beginning that sets us up with level 6 bullshit.
Woo-hoo.
And you lot can...
If you thought Raja was full of crap before.
Yeah. So...
So can I have a, like, whenever we're done with it, I want Arden to have wandered off, like at the end of an episode, and the vampire guys are just like, "So, blah, 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 blah," and then just Arden just like walks by him, "Oh, hello." Just want him just bust through the fourth wall on that one. Just, "How you guys doing?" "Oh, God."
Absolutely. Yeah, he's just fucking Deadpool at this point, isn't he? He just shows
He's just
up.
walking around behind him.
The cat has true sight.
Yeah, you were really close with some of those rolls. To seeing some extra shit. But
If
you
I
guys
had just remembered to do comprehend languages beforehand,
it would have
been
really, really fucking
Yeah.
helped. Yeah, you guys are level 6. We'll do that when we come back, but there's no episode next week. My fault. I'm in a PUBG competition. It's on a Wednesday.
Woo!
Hey,
Great.
vaulting's in now. So is it going to be in for the
yeah.
competition?
It's not in. It's on the test server. I don't think they'll use it. If they do, it'll be really interesting because everyone
Yeah.
just jumps in the water in the competitions and just swims to the
Right.
circle. But we'll see. I don't know. So yeah, next week, no episode. We should be back the week after. I don't know. This gets to a weird time of year where people start going home and shit like that.
Yeah.
But it's the 6th. So the 6th.
Ooh.
Of December.
At level 6, I can make you guys get the +10 to your attack rolls, and I can do it twice a day.
Oh shit!
Beautiful.
Hey,
I love
Raja,
Like,
how do you like
you
being
guys-
broken?
You guys were so
pretty nice,
fucking
really.
scared of her just attacking you, just outright, and you're all preparing, and everyone in the chat and the Discord was like, "You gotta fuck him up. You gotta fuck him up." You just did it.
No,
She got the spell, but
I was more concerned with, like, at least from the standpoint of playing Vasilius, My concern was that she was going to bring back Carlias, but he was going to be bound under like some sort of basically be her slave. And if he lets that happen, then Miami Blossom would have him killed, probably, because then he would find out that Carlias died to begin with. And Vasilius is just trying to smooth over the whole, no, Carlias never died, he's fine.
Yeah,
give me my money. So it was just more of a, as long as they come back and they're not completely like disfigured and they're not like actively chained to her like some sort of a slave, then he's fine with it. So I don't know. I knew they were freaking phylacteries though the whole time.
I mean, yeah.
So are we liches now? We're liches, right? I like it.
You're something, that's for sure. You're something not quite obvious, but in general, you guys, you are alive. The resurrection spell is still the resurrection spell. It's just that there is something else at play, and that she also has this fucking leverage over you. Vasilius was right. You guys were right to be fucking like, fuck this shit. What is all this shit going on around it? But on the one hand, that is how you cast the fucking resurrection spell in this world. On the other hand, why is it so secretive and why is it so weird? And yes, regardless of who casts it and stuff, there is a certain level of leverage that they have over you. Soz, that's just how I wrote this one. And you can blame all of my other campaigns because resurrection magic is fucking annoying. And I hate it. And I've just been nerfing it and nerfing it and nerfing it until eventually I'm just not going to have it in any more campaigns.
It's like, oh, you're a level 7 party. Okay, you can just infinitely resurrect everyone forever.
It's just so stupid,
That's why I also the mercenary.
It puts the DM in a position where you either have to completely wipe the party, or everyone dies, or no one, because once you get like, if you just take it the way it's normally written, then just we're just gonna we go into a party or into a fight, 4 of us, 3 people die. But 1 person lives. Okay, we'll drag them all to town and have them all rezzed, and suddenly it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I don't really like.
I limited the locations where you can be rezzed, so it's just a situational thing. If you died like way out in the desert, you probably would be either super dead or you'd have to pay so much more because obviously the price goes up the longer you're dead, essentially on the recast. And that's kind of what I went for with this, because I was like, if they die next to the town with the priests that I have deemed being the arch priests, then fair enough. And if they don't, then that's how it works out. Lucky for you did actually die relatively close and there's a train network, but that's it's one of those things. If you do die again though, you only have 1 up, so you die again, you're dead, there's no res. Just so you know, you have 1 up, that's it.
Yeah, that makes sense, because the phylactery wouldn't be able to be remade, right? You'd have to make multiple.
And it's also, like, I know everyone's going to be, like, fucking Googling phylacteries and stuff. They're not, like, full lich phylacteries where these guys are just immortal, because a phylactery also just, you die, and then you just reborn from that thing. It's not really like that, but it's the same area of magic, which I'm basing it on. So, I don't know, one day we might find out, or maybe they'll all just die to a fucking bandit. I don't know.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, our characters die constantly. We'll probably find out in a couple of weeks if it works.
Raja's gonna be like, "Let's go kill that banshee." We're all gonna walk in, fail the con save, and just be dropped to 0. Like,
I've been a little harsher with killing you guys in this one. I am whack in this campaign, but I kind of wanted it to be as well. Like when I made it, I was like, I know that I want this to be like a rough fucking terrain because it's in a desert, and everyone's kind of an asshole, and everyone's kind of got an ulterior motive. So I really wanted to like push that a little bit. So like as much as I'm like, I actually genuinely hate fucking killing people. I hate killing characters so much. But the part I always keep thinking back to myself when I was making this, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill them if they die. I really,
It's a gritty campaign. That's all.
Just I wanted it to be a little bit gritty, but not unfun in the.
Yeah, I get
also, you guys are broken as shit. Raja aside, you're broken regardless. Like all of you are very, very strong.
I'm just gonna carry Revivify honestly as one of my 3rd level spells now. So if it's within a minute, I can just bring you guys back.
If we had got into a fight in there, I feel like, I mean, everyone. It's fun to make jokes about Raja, but I do think Vasilius is the most broken character in the group. Like the three Goliaths.
Diamonds.
The 3 Goliaths would have been like irrelevant if it turned into a fight because he has hypnotic pattern. So, and it's like a DC 16 wisdom save, and if the Goliaths don't make it, then they just sit there staring at it forever. So it would just be all of us versus the the Chancellor at that point.
Which one's the one that makes them attack each other? Because I could have picked that one up, but I didn't.
Crown of Madness.
Well, level 6, you should be able to add another spell.
Or something. I guess I don't know. We'll see what I pick up next week. But there's definitely one that's like Hypnotic Pattern, but I can do it to like everybody within a 30-foot radius, and they just start attacking multiple targets.
Nice.
If I'm not mistaken.
We need to stock up on diamonds worth 300 gold if I'm going to be using
We need to go rob some
okay.
some diamond shops.
I mean, we just picked up ones worth 500, so I mean, just take one and break it into 3 or something.
I'm gonna go nicking.
Add a little bit.
A little gold filigree.
Cool. So, thanks for playing, everybody. Well done. You're back.
We didn't die.
We'll work out all the kinks of having 2 player characters right now in it, and the level 6 stuff when we come back in 2 weeks. Remember, on the 6th. Do a quick round of shout outs. I'm going to start with the boy who came back from the dead, Tuesday Gray. Where can people find you?
Yo, dudes! Thanks for watching. You can find me at /Tuesday Gray in the internet places, and I'm gonna go out to dinner and enjoy myself, and then get up and eat way too much food tomorrow. I hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving if you're having one. Thanks for watching.
Mr. Connor Kronos, the actual boy who lived.
I mean, nearly died in the abyssal plane.
Yeah,
it's okay. You got Deus Ex'd.
That, by the way, if you had like royally fucked that up, like you had like a particular helper in there, and I always was going to give you a particular helper, sort of regardless. But also, if you had really fucked that up, you two would have been unresable.
I realized like halfway into the fight.
Soul. So while she was casting the spell was while you were doing that fight, basically, and then when you go light, she's summoning your soul. It's kind of happening at the same time, and she wouldn't have been able to bring Raj's soul while the Lich had it bound, which is what the icy chains were. And if you had lost, he would have just had yours as well, and you'd have been on the other shoulder, and he would have wandered off, and your souls would belong to the fucking Wraith, and that would be it. You just have to be. Fairlight would have.
Damn.
I feel like
It's a good thing
to this country and
I was
killed.
reminded about the extra attack then.
But yeah, like it was as much as it was difficult. Like honestly, it was a relatively easy fight.
If that had been how it played out, then I have a third character already ready. Who is he's actually I came prepared for everything. He's already listed in Raj's background. He's a paladin that he worked with on a couple of occasions. So I have the paladin character already rolled up. So if Raja was permanently dead and not coming back, then this paladin would have showed up and said, "All right, we killed my buddy. I'm gonna kill this Wraith."
I personally, just a DM aside, I really like Raja. The DM of me likes Raja as well because you just had such a thick backstory that I was able to just draw some random shit from it that I still want to happen. But the true DM in me was like, if Carlias literally rolls nothing but ones throughout this fight, they're completely unresable, and it would have been a whole other thing when she cast the spell. She would have just walked out and been like, their souls don't want to come back or can't. Soz. Bye. And that would have been it. I was
if Carlias died, Garthus would be here. I would bring Garthus in here.
We just start doing some really fucking stupid shit.
Oh my god, the fucking crossover.
Like the future of Ilios is Garthus gets sucked into dust oil. But you guys can find me at twitch.tv/ConnorCronus. We've got a few games in store over the next few weeks, but it's up to you guys who are voting and picking and choosing. So we actually beat Assassin's Creed Origins last night, and it was so good, so good.
Nice. Make sure to check out Connor Kronos, HJ Tenchi.
Hello.
Playing Bully. I was watching it for a bit the other day.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. God, that I everybody that ever is like, oh, you're playing Bully, that's my favorite game ever. And like, especially on the PC, it's a pile of garbage. It's so janky.
Oh yeah, it's
but after a few hours I'm finally adjusted to it. But the PC version still, it just crashes. Sometimes if you use the right joystick, you just go in a circle, and some mini games don't work. It's a pile of garbage. But the game itself is actually a lot of fun now. So but that first 3 hours I was so salty. I was like, god damn, I hate this game. Everybody's like, oh, it's so good. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna say anything then.
I never actually played it, honestly.
It's good.
I don't know how I missed it, but I just never bothered playing it, I guess.
It's definitely a game of the times, and that's not a bad thing, but it's definitely like early Rockstar, which is good and bad. But I think it's worth, if you like anything like that type of game, it's definitely worth playing. There's some pretty funny stuff in it. But yeah, you guys can find me 1 to 9 p.m. PDT Monday through Saturday before I sidetrack us even more. Wednesdays are now after the stream. After this, I'm going to be doing just retro games from here on out. So different NES, Super NES, Genesis. I'm actually going to try Dragon Slayer today. I've never played Dragon Slayer. So I hear it's good, but hopefully I can capture it. I wasn't able to capture it like 2 years ago when I tried the first time.
Cool. Well, make sure you check out my boy, the Tench. Fairlight, where can people find you? My brain's gone now. That's it. I finally let go.
You can find me at twitch.tv/Fairlight_Excalibur during whatever random hours I happen to be streaming on any given day. And you can find me everywhere else, Twitter, YouTube, etc. at FairlightX.
Then you playing another D&D campaign now on Friday?
I am indeed now on another campaign. It's this campaign, like Dustvale, is like pure epicness from start to finish, whereas the Friday campaign is more Robin Hood Men in Tights. Like it's been a very comedy oriented campaign so far, and it's a lot of fun. It's criminal, like urban setting, and we're all like constantly sneaking and stealing stuff. It's pretty fun.
It sounds fun. I kind of want to run like a comedy one, just like a really relaxed one. I don't know if you ever saw that. What's that one that what's his face runs? Dan Harmon. It's all like all animated.
Harmon Quest, yeah.
Harmon Quest is great.
The DM, though, they're just like, does this person look like this fucking Tommy Wiseau?
Well, I mean, that's what I already do, right? That's kind of where I got it from.
I sort of, my first ever DM, Tom, used to do that all the time, and I loved it. But he does it so well on that, and they just go, yes, everything is like an improv comedy. Yeah. It's almost like everyone in it is an improv comedian, and they just play D&D.
My favorite line.
So relaxed. I really enjoyed it.
My favorite line on Harmon Quest was when he gets a wand of something, but he doesn't know how to use it. And he's like, I pointed at him and I say, "Come on!" And then the DM just responds, "You do that."
I love what he says,
and then just ends the sentence there, and he's like,
he just gives no fucks.
Yeah, does anything happen? And he's like, no, nothing happens. It's great.
It's really cool. And really, I like that kind of like super relaxed thing, because I kind of come in halfway. Like the bits that I take seriously in my campaigns, I take too seriously, and the bits that I don't, I'm like whatever. But I really want to do just like a short comedy.
No fucks given.
Yeah, like no fucks given and aimed at being funny. Like everything constantly fails and stuff like one.
Right, yeah.
Ones are just like instantly your legs blow up.
So yeah, if
that's what one is.
If that's not enough RP for you, I'm also in the middle of playing through Final Fantasy IV. So that's fun, doing like a retro game replay. So that's been a lot of fun. You know how they say when you go back and play games that you loved when you were a kid, you play them and you realize how they kind of suck now because they're
really hard.
Yeah, they haven't aged as well as you thought they have. They're super hard, they're unfair and all that. And then you go back and play Final Fantasy IV and it's like, no, actually it's still better than 90% of anything on the market today.
Final Fantasy is really good at that replayability thing. I generally play through all of them once a year because I'm just such a fucking goddamn loser. I'm like, no, I'm not doing anything for a month, playing them all. But yeah, I fucking love 4. I recommend playing the PSP version of 4 as well because it's fucking gorgeous, and I don't understand why they haven't remade all of the ones like 1 through 6 in that style. But
I got it on Steam. So from what I understand,
I haven't played the Steam one yet, but I kind of want to because it's Liam, what's his name from Critical Role, isn't it? Doing Kane.
Ryan?
Yeah, he's the voice of Kane in the
Kane's voice in the Steam version. He's always talking like this the entire time, and you're just like, holy crap. And what's funny is like when it was originally made on the DS. So basically, the game came out in Japan, like over there it was Final Fantasy 2 or 3 or what, I forget the number. It had a different number, but when Final Fantasy 4 was released over there, it was super hard, like brutally difficult because it's Japan and all their games are hard. And then they brought it to the Super Nintendo in the US, and they're like, it's Americans, they suck. So this like the American version is super easy. And then when they ported it to the DS, apparently they said, you know, it was a little too easy. Let's just revert it back to the Japanese version. So the DS version is brutally difficult. Then they ported it to Steam, and now when you start the game, it lets you choose. It's like you can get the normal version or the hard version, which I picked normal because I thought that normal equated to the DS version, which was already hard, and that the hard mode was like on top of that. But apparently it reverted to like the Super Nintendo version. So I've just been like cakewalking through the game, one-shotting everything. I kind of wish I had picked hard.
I feel like 4 isn't that hard, but then I guess that just depends on whether you play it. That's why, because they made an easy version and a hard version.
I also think that sometimes
final dungeon is really hard. I think even on the normal version, that crystal-looking dungeon, I can't remember what it's called. It's like the one on the moon or whatever is really fucking difficult, regardless.
Thank you for spoilering it to all of my audience that hasn't seen it yet.
Oh, I thought everyone had played Final Fantasy. It came out like 400 years ago. Fuck you.
Which is so funny thing. Like I asked my chat, and I got like 80% of them. No, I've never played it or seen it, and I think that's because it's so old that we've kind of gotten to the point now where it's like considered a relic that most people never went back and played. So
also, like Final Fantasy, the final dungeon is a weird crystal dungeon. They're all the fucking crystal dungeon.
They're all a weird crystal dungeon at the end. But yeah, no, it was weird because I asked my chat. I was like, "How many of you guys have played this before, or you've seen it before?" And it was the vast majority are like, "I've never seen it." And there was even a few people who were like, I've never seen any Final Fantasy games played. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'll just be careful with spoilers then.
Yeah, those are weird ones to non-spoil because you kind of want to revel in the nostalgia, but also not spoil it, so you kind of get caught in a way.
Aerith dies.
Jay, where can people find you, Jay?
You just spoiled the entire plot for me. On my channel tonight, actually, speaking of D&D campaigns and comedy and stupidity and seriousness, I'm gonna do.
Are those strawberries?
Dude.
Please tell me you saw that.
I haven't seen that one, but I know the reference. But my favorite Harmon Quest one is the first episode with the alchemist fire, where it's just on his head for like an hour and he doesn't notice, and then they come back halfway through and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's still there, right?"
Oh yeah, the head's still on fire.
Yeah, we're doing DM prep tonight for Ilios on Sunday. I'm in LA, starting tomorrow for the next week, so. Sunday might be up in arms. I have no idea. Depends if I can get internet, but we should be good to go. So after this, I guess throw Tenchi and I up. Watch the retro games and the D&D prep. If you want to help me kill Brad on Sunday.
Roll a D2. 1 is you and 2 is Tenchi.
I'm not rolling. No, that's too much.
Yeah. Sorry, Tenchi.
Go sub to Tenchi at least.
Jay gets hosted.
Don't you start that.
Cool. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks. More Dust Veil. See you on Sunday for Ilios.
Woo!
And see you in the abyssal plane when we all inevitably die as the cold hand of death.
Aren't you? Or don't you have a finale tomorrow? Isn't that?
No.
No?
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving. All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving. See you soon.
Thanks, guys.